we're going to be playing a game of Tales from the Loop tonight. It is set in a homebrew loop. It's our homebrew IMT Scottish loop, set in 1986. And yeah, so we'll be getting to that. Is there anything else that we need to cover before we get started?
I don't know. Was that not enough? Was that not enough, sir?
Also, get well soon to Bunny as well. Bunny's been hit
Yeah.
by the vid, so get well soon. And
Wow.
yeah, be healthy as quickly
up
as you can.
and be well.
Okay.
Let's do
In that
this.
case, let's do it. Yeah, let's get started. Yeah, so you are part of the loop in Scotland. You are all based in the south of Scotland, very close to the border with England. But Scotland is independent in this world, in this version of reality. But many of the other things are the same. 1966, England did win the World Cup. Kylie Minogue is a rising star on television. R.I.P. Neighbours. And also, Madonna is famous in the charts. And actually, the town that we find ourselves in is a small town which you can find on the map and does exist. A town called Jedburgh, well known for its ancient abbey, which is still standing to this day. The monks used to go around harvesting all of the fruit from the orchards and making some awesome wines and tonics, and also being a brokerage of knowledge and power of the time. And so is now the town a broker of the knowledge and of the time, because there is a giant, huge science excavation under the very ground that our heroes, our kids, walk on. There is a giant, around about 13 kilometers in diameter, very sizable particle accelerator, along with many other things. There is another part of this world which is unusual. The effect of gravity has been unbound, and inventions have allowed gravitational devices to hover above ground, and great use of these is made for travel around the world. Stronger for some reason in the northern hemisphere than in the south, but nevertheless, the effect of this gravity allows for some unusual machines. Robotics is also, well, robots are alive and a common part of the ground. And I should point out that none of the kids that the characters are playing are fazed really by these things, because they've grown up with it and it has been that way for their lives. Their parents are all variously here, involved with either the loop directly or incidentally, tangentially. I think that's probably a good point then to offer just a very quick introduction each of your characters for those who have just joined us for the first time. I will start to my right on screen. Fellow, do you want to say a little bit about Jamie?
Hello, I'm Jamie Ryan. I am a rocker chick. My favorite band is Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. My parents are always fighting and don't pay enough attention to me or my sister, so I look after my little sister, just to make sure she's okay.
Old Pirate.
I'm playing Martin Pereira. He's a small 13-year-old boy. His mum didn't come home from work. She worked at the Loop with her dad, and she didn't come home from work one day. And all the other kids have been saying it's because she didn't love Martin anymore. So he's a bit sad about that. His favourite song is Against All Odds because it reminds him of his mum. His dad seems to have not taken his wife's disappearance very well, and he's not paying much attention to Martin at all. And Mark, it's not about me. It really isn't about me. This, Martin. Martin is taking solace in his group of friends, and also the housekeeper, who is kind of probably taking care of him more than his dad is right now. Next.
Yeah. Alex is played by Lloyd.
I got Alex Bateman. His parents are like American engineers, like scientists helping. But they helped with like the setup of the ring and the operation of the ring in Scotland. Unfortunately, his parents are very busy, like all the time, so he's kind of largely been neglected. Like he's quite a bit of a smart aleck, so he's kind of quite good with like computers and taking his way around problems. May have also started a rumor about Marty's mom not loving him. Anyway, next.
I think Carol.
Hi, I'm playing Caro Williams. She's Australian. She's 12. She's got an older sister and a younger sister. She really hates secrets, and she's got a crazy aunt living in her basement.
So we start the scene. Each of you in your own rooms on a Sunday evening. On the radio, the UK, as it was, charts. The charts of Great Britain. The charts, the chart music, the official singles chart top 100. Counting down from 100 to the most premier song of this week. We find ourselves in the top 10 is playing. Who wants to take their bedroom and the top 10 song Spirit in the Sky by Doctor and the Medics? Who's enjoying that song the most?
I think Alex would. It's of the top 10. It was like I think the first
taste.
one. It was the one that I kind of actually remembered. I think the rest are like I could kind of vaguely remember them, but only as I was listening to them. I don't know. I need to double check the list again. What was in the top 10?
What's your room?
I just kind of like rock music in general.
Yeah, so you're lying on your bed, and Alex, your parents are arguing downstairs while you're listening to this song.
Yeah, I think like he's one of those people. I think he would like to be a drummer. Like he doesn't quite have the like charisma to be like a singer or a guitarist. And there's something about like the numbers and like rhythm of like the drums that he kind of enjoys. So I think that's what he probably try to do is like make his own sort of like because like his whole thing is like he's been trying to act out. So I think like he would probably try and like I guess like play along to the music just to make noise and try and drown it out.
Yeah.
Especially going heavy on the foot pedals to just hammer through to the ground below in case they aren't noticing.
Yeah. And they are shouting louder at each other, and you hear shouts about money. You hear shouts about funding. It seems to be yet another work-related argument. It's getting very loud. This is trouble for you, Alex. If you don't deal with it and you continue to listen to it,
yeah.
You're gonna be upset, but we'll come back to you and find out what you're gonna do about this happening. Whilst we go to another one of the songs in there. Now this is Hunting High and Low by Aha, and that would probably be Rune's song, I guess, but Rune's unfortunately not going to be with us. So I will jump to who's going to be rocking out to Venus by Bananarama. Anybody taking? I
don't want to take that one. I don't want to take that one.
Okay, that's fine. We'll move on. If if nobody's there, you might have wanted to, because the next one is New Beginning by Bucks Fizz.
Oh wow! What week was this? This is bad news, isn't it?
It's a bad week. Yep, summer months in the
Wow.
British charts.
Did you actually go through a list and see which was the worst week?
This,
You just wanted to cause trouble for all the kids.
listen, it doesn't get better, so you might want to hedge your bets.
That's why I ducked out early.
I'm tempted to go for the hunting high and low, right?
Okay, so we're going to the top 3. We've got
Okay.
Happy Hour by the House Martins. Now, come on, that's surely House Martins. That'd be all right for Marty, wouldn't it?
Oh, House Martins? Oh, because of the whole Martin thing?
Yeah.
Go on, I'll take it.
All right. Okay. Marty, your dad still hasn't come home.
Ooh,
Your
it's a
dad's-
Sunday.
It's a Sunday. He hasn't come home. You haven't got your housekeeper, and you're getting hungry because it's getting late and you haven't had any dinner. If you don't deal with this is trouble for you. Being hungry. If you don't deal with it, you're going to get tired. You're going to get upset. So we'll come back to you. But what are you doing just while you're listening to this song, the House Martins? What does Marty do while he's listening to the charts in his room?
Martin is currently he's reading. The librarian, Mrs. Craig, had recently kind of told him to read a book, H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. So he's currently reading about the Morlocks and the Eloi at the moment, and he's really getting into it. Yeah, I think he's enjoying this book immensely. The whole time travel thing is probably quite interesting to him as well. And he's now wondering whether the loop could actually be a time, or even better, whether Alex Bateman's neighbor is making a time machine in his garage.
Excellent. We'll come back to you to find out how you're going to deal with your trouble. We're getting close to the top tip of the week. Pop pickers. We're looking at Papa Don't Preach by Madonna.
That one will probably be one of Kara's. She wouldn't necessarily understand what exactly it's implying because she's 12, but I think she'd just be like, "Oh my god, it's Madonna," and just love it.
Yeah. So what's she doing in her room? What's it look like? What's happening in the scene while she's...
She's probably dancing around to it, maybe singing into her hairbrush. Her side of the room is very clean and organized and quite girly. The little sister's side of the room is messy and covered in horse pictures. And I think, she's probably just sort of dancing around. She can hear her aunt screaming in the basement, so she's singing a little bit louder and, trying to drown that out while dancing away to this tune.
Yeah, and as the tune comes to an end, and before they do the recap of the top 20, and they talk down all the way through from 20 down to find out what the number 1 is, there's a knock at your door. And the door opens because your crazy aunt doesn't respect boundaries. And she looks at you and says, "Carol, go and get some wood outside. Go get some wood from the garden. I need to start a fire."
What?
It's warm out. It's the middle of summer. It's warm outside.
Why? What possible reason could you have for wanting to start a fire? I'm listening
cold.
to this.
Go and find some wood for me. I need to start the fire now. Go on. Stop listening to the music. Get out. Get out in the garden and get some. Yeah. So that's your trouble. Your aunt is on your back, and she's not going to relent. So you might not get to hear what the number 1 is. We'll come back in a minute to find out how you deal with that. So yeah, we're looking now at Jamie. You are the number one in this week, Jamie. You've listened all the way through. You may well have found some of the songs that you like more enjoyable, but the number one that we find you with is The Edge of Heaven by Wham. So what are you doing while you're listening to this song? Are you getting up and turning it off, or are you listening to it? What are you doing when this song comes on and the number one is announced?
I would say that Jamie's just kind of vibing with the music and doing like a little head bob, but also with kind of a confused expression on her face because she's not quite sure why she's enjoying it.
Just
do
going guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a future death metal star with a soft spot for Wham.
Do you share a room with your sister?
No, she has a room next door to mine.
And the charts come to the end, and they invite you to come back next week for the next round of hits. And you think you better go and check on your sister, and you go through to her room, and she should have been back by now, but she's not.
Uh-oh.
And that's your trouble.
Yeah, that is
So,
big trouble.
Let's continue with Jamie just now. Your sister is missing.
I will rush down the stairs to the main floor and see if my parents are home.
Okay, are they?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. So you're in the house by yourself. You can still hear the radio in the background. The lights are on, and there isn't anybody there.
Okay, I'm going to rush up to my room, turn off the radio, and grab my backpack and go looking for my sister.
Excellent. So you rush out the door, and at that point, you start going to some of the places that you think. Or what do you? Yeah, go on. Give me one. What direction do you head? Who do you go and see, or where do you go first?
I think I would go to the cafe first to see if she's there.
Okay. Right then. So, Marty, cafe. That might not be.
That seems like a good idea right now, doesn't it? Yeah.
What are you doing
think
while you're?
Marty's going to grab his backpack and go and find a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Marty knows the person that runs the cafe very well, or if the person that runs the cafe knows us, or whether Marty's actually got any money.
There's probably some money lying around, isn't there?
Dad's a bit careless these days. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a whole £5 note. No, it'd be £1 note.
Yeah.
And so he scoops that up, heads out of the door. He doesn't own a backpack actually, so he's just going to jump on his bike and he's going to pedal like fury down to the town. He's a little bit worried, I suppose, about his dad. Not sure where he's got to, or especially seeing as his mum didn't come home from work one day, he's a little bit worried now that maybe the same thing has happened to his dad. But there's nobody that he can talk to that. Or a chopper bong maybe. Yeah, chopper. I always preferred those. Yeah, so he's a little bit concerned, but he doesn't know who to go to because the library's closed and school is closed, and he doesn't know where the housekeeper lives. So he's just, he's pedaling without really, and it's just kind of all these things are going through his mind about whether his dad's actually going to come home, and he's probably quite worried about it. But he's heading anywhere. Maybe he'll head back.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll head to the where the gang's den. Maybe he'll head to that.
Yeah.
And when he finds, or if he finds nobody there, then he'll head on to the cafe.
Yeah, well, the cafe from the den isn't actually very far away. So you cycle past, you have a quick look in on your way, and then you just jump back over the fence and on and through the Venel. And you're practically there at the cafe. It's just almost at the next row back, so it's not very far. You could almost dump your bike safely there and then just climb over to that. So yeah, you walk into the cafe, and you'll see in a short period of time you'll see Jamie bursting in while you're in the queue or waiting for something on the table. But we'll not go there just yet.
Okay.
Caro, your aunt is nuts. And she's beginning to shout at you. She wants you to. You've heard the final song. The top 50, the top 20 is over. They've announced the successor, and off you go. But now she's saying that she wants to start a fire, and you have to go and find the wood. It's your responsibility.
Oh, and I throw my hairbrush onto my bed and kind of storm past her. And stomp my way downstairs and into the kitchen thing and grab my shoes from outside the back door and just kind of stomp off to find where I get wood from. Just utterly confused as to why she even wants wood and why can't she put on a jumper, and just sort of annoyed.
There is no wood in the wood pile because it's summer. Who starts fires in the summer? You haven't got your order in yet. You haven't.
Yeah. Kind of roll my eyes about the fact that there's none there, and go back and just there's no wood anywhere here.
And she screams, I don't care where the wood. You go outside and find some. Now I want to get some wood. You know where the wood is. You play in the forest. You go and find me some. I need to get this fire. I'm cold.
Can't you just put on a jumper?
You don't go out there. I'm going to help you. Don't be so insolent, girl. Get outside and go and find me some of this wood. Now I need this fire on.
Fine. And she just storms out, slams the back door in her way, and just starts stomping out towards the forest, I guess.
Yeah, so it's a warm evening, and as you're walking down the street, you pass an older kid that you know, and the older kid has got a stookie. Bust their arm, and the kid just kind of glares at you as you walk past, and just gives you a big stare, and says, "Get out of my way." You don't get on particularly well.
Kara just keeps walking. She's pissed. She's storming. It's just I've dealt with my crazy aunt. I don't need to deal with you either, and just keeps same course.
Yeah. So we'll leave you walking to wherever you decide to go, whether it is but you're out of the way of the crazy aunt, so you have avoided that trouble. Alex, you're still there. The music's finished, and they've gone on to some other show that the music you're not so keen on. But your parents are still arguing. They are shouting at each other. It has got louder. You don't actually now. You can't really make out the words. This is getting quite. This is just too much for you.
Where was it, me?
Yeah, Alex. So Alex is just
so
there,
I think what he's gonna probably do is he's just gonna storm out. I think you go downstairs, you chat to me could you at least I'm just gonna go into town. Can you if just chatting his parents to be if you want to keep your work stuff at work, I don't want stop bringing it back home. They're not gonna listen to him anyway. It's more for his own personal benefit, and then he's just gonna
Yeah.
walk out, slam the door, like jump on the bike, and then just leave.
Yeah. So you all managed to variously escape the clutches of whatever issue it is, but one of you is a bit. The rest of you seem to be quite upset or angry, but you're not. You're not got that. Now it's behind you, but for one of you, you've still got your issues. Marty, you're going to get a sandwich. You're standing in the queue. You've ordered. You've sat down at one of the tables.
Yeah.
And Jamie bursts in.
Okay. How's she looking?
Concerned, very frazzled. She's
Oh.
frantically looking around the cafe.
I just kind of wave at her as I'm sitting at my table.
And you didn't see him.
Oh, we're saving that for when Alex arrives.
I run over to the table. Have you seen my sister?
Have I seen her sister?
Have you?
Have I, GM? Or can I just say yes?
Yeah, she's over there, the next table along.
You can say whatever you want to say. Yeah.
Oh.
go for it. You could,
Quick,
yeah.
end this mystery
yeah,
in 15 minutes.
So I said, I kind of look at her. So, yeah, I saw it. She was at the corner shop, but that was like hours ago. She was at the corner shop. She looked a bit upset. I asked her if she was okay, but she just ran away.
Oh no, I have to go look
Almost
for
as
her.
if I was Alex.
Will you help me look?
And yeah, I think I say yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. And it takes his mind off where his dad might be. So he grabs his sandwich off the plate. Where
Maybe also be
should
at
we
the
go?
corner shop.
I grab a handful of his fries.
Let's get it.
Stuff
Yeah,
them in
yeah.
my
Let's
mouth.
get it before Alex turns up.
Wow, someone who was so desperate to want someone to go see Star Trek with them. How the tables have turned.
I got a new friend now. And so we kind of rush out into the street, I guess. Where would she go? Where would she normally go?
I don't know. She would normally come to the cafe.
We could go to the shop and see if anybody's seen her.
Okay, let's go.
And that's
Yeah,
where we're going to
okay.
head.
Yeah, so that we'll cut to the shop in just a minute. Yeah, Alex, you've stormed out. And what's your likely destination?
I'd say like probably you probably head to like an arcade, like where you can just like vent his like frustrations on like a game.
Perfect. So, funnily enough, the best arcade there is at the Hot Pot, which is just around the back of the corner from where you've just seen. You walk in as Marty is just stuffing a sandwich and walking out of the door, and you burst in there, and
Yeah.
they're just walking out. The two, Jamie as well. What's going on?
Hey, Alex.
What's up, guys?
You haven't seen Jamie's sister, have you?
No, I've only just got here.
But I mean, when you were coming here, you haven't seen her
No.
around.
Do you know where she was last?
She's missing. I have to find her.
Let's go look. Any leads?
No, I saw her at the shop a few hours ago, but
To the shop.
You know that the siblings of your group have been trying very hard to ingratiate themselves
join
with
in,
you because
yeah.
they see you as
Mm.
being cool and and they've been following you around and spying on you. Carol, you're walking towards the woods to get some kindling or branches or something just to satisfy your mad aunt. And it's a little bit of a trek out through the houses. But as you're walking to the woods, you find we see you just walking there, kind of looking at the end of the houses, the last of the street lamps. It's a lovely summer's night, and it is light for a long time. But sitting just at the end of the last house, where the road comes to an end, and there's a pile of gravel. Sitting on the pile of gravel is, you recognise, Jamie's little sister.
I go over to her and just check and see if she's okay.
Yeah, she looks up at you. And she says, "Hi."
Hey,
I'm okay.
what are you doing out here on your own?
I just had to get out of the house. My aunt, she's horrible. I don't like her. And Jamie wasn't there. So I just thought I would come out for a bit. Do you know where Jamie is?
I haven't seen her recently, but I'm sure she's floating around somewhere. Do you want to see if we can find her? And she kind of offers a hand to the...
Yeah, but she reaches up and takes that. That would be nice. I'd like that. But my aunt's horrible.
So's mine.
My mum. My mum was shouting that somebody's broken their leg. And she said she didn't want me going to the woods, and my aunt said not to be so stupid because I was just a little girl and I wouldn't do anything stupid like that. I wouldn't go to the woods and hurt myself. And my aunt turned round and looked and said, "That's silly." But she wouldn't do that. And then my mum started shouting, and then my dad came in and said, "What's for dinner?" And it was all, and they just started shouting at each other, and it was just bad.
Kiddo, come here. And she kind of gives her a hug.
Yeah. So yeah, do you think my mum and dad still love each other?
I don't know. Adults are dumb. They do silly things sometimes. Who knows? And she just kind of gives her another hug, having absolutely no idea how to deal with this.
So yeah, where will you look for her for Jamie?
Probably try the hideout first, I think.
Okay.
And I think I'd probably be telling her stories about back home, crazy animals and...
Yeah, so you're talking about all that stuff, and that's the scene that kind of cuts as you walk down the road and back into the houses and away, forgetting about the wood that you were getting. You guys that are searching, you go to the next scene is you're standing in front of a sweet shop, and it's an amazing sweet shop. It's got a huge window at the front of it, and it goes almost all the way down to the ground. There's a small ledge about 2 or 3 inches off the ground, and it's just glass, this big sheet of glass, and in it is shelf after shelf after shelf of sweets.
Yeah.
But it's closed.
Could have been there for some time.
And you're looking up at the sweets, and yeah, there's no sign of anybody in the shop, and you look around, you don't see anybody there.
Well, Marty, you need to work on your leads. Any other ideas? I mean, I think they always wanted to be part of our group, so I wonder if maybe they tried to sneak in or try to take over our fire station.
I mean, I came through. I came through the fire station. I didn't see him there. Maybe now we could go back. We could take a look, I guess.
I mean, we don't really have any other ideas right now, so maybe Carol's seen her.
She may have gone home.
Oh, maybe. Let's check the fire station first, and then
It's probably closer.
I'll go home
Sure.
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marty can be
so
wrong twice in
you're
a
at the-
day.
You're at the bottom of the high street, and there's a junction just before the shops start. It goes round the back of the high street, which is the street that the old fire station is on. And so it's not very far away. It just takes you a couple of minutes. Carol, you've walked down the valley side and down into the valley, across the river, across the old bridge. And again, it's not far at all to there. And you've lifted the spirits. You've lifted the spirits of Jamie's sister. She's quite happily bubbling away about talking about stuff that was on at school, and she seems to have forgotten the what's been happening. And she's really excited about getting to go to your fire station, because she knows about your gang, but she's never been allowed in before. So she's really excited about that. And then that's it. So we cut in to the scene where the three of you, Alex, Marty, Jamie, are in the station, and Carol and Jamie's sister make their appearance while you're sitting there.
Oh.
Jamie,
Someone
you
had some
there?
knife.
So I see my sister and yell, Kayla! And I run up to her and give her a big hug.
Hey, Jamie. Mum and
I
Dad
was
were
so
fighting.
worried. Yeah. I'm sorry I had my music on really loud.
Oh, it's okay. I had gone to play at my friend at Janice's, and I came back, and you were and then Mum and Dad were shouting, and then Aunt came in, and it was all just like they don't want me going to the forest. They say that kids get hurt in the forest at night, and I just said that I had wanted to go outside so that I couldn't listen to them. But I met Carol, and this place is cool. Is that a real fireman's pole? Can I have a shot?
Sure. And I'll help her.
Yeah, she climbs up the stairs and goes to the top. Is it? And she looks, yeah. So you see that. You see
Just don't
Jamie
let
and her
go.
sister running up
I'm
the
just
stairs.
imagining one of those old public information films now, the safety ones.
I can
That's where
imagine
all
the
the
kid
kids
like
die.
I can imagine. Well, I've seen kids here before where they held on so tight that they don't slide. They just stay
Yeah.
suspended on the
Yeah.
poles.
I suppose it depends on how much like repair it's in too. Might have got a
Tetanus all the
little
way
bit, like-
down.
Yeah.
Well, you guys use it, so it's all right. But yeah, it's all right. And she's looking up. So as the two of them go up to the floor where there would have previously have been beds and stuff, because that would have been where the fire brigade were sleeping. Yeah. What are the three of you doing?
So somebody
Well,
got
mission
hurt in the
accomplished.
woods? Somebody got hurt in the woods? Is that what she said?
Sounds like it. Hadn't heard anything.
No, me neither.
An interrogator which gets close to the ground level.
Sounds like she's having.
I'll go and get the bright light.
She's having a rough enough day as it is by the sounds of things.
And as you say, bright light, the top of the back of the ceiling flickers blue, and from the window, because you see like a flashing blue light just flicking past.
Please.
The popo.
Yeah. Quick,
Get
book
her!
it.
Keep an eye for yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen this before. It's you're opposite
Yeah.
the health center.
Oh, so it's an ambulance.
Fuck, thick
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a peek out of the window and see what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, ambulances are
I-
exciting, aren't they?
Yeah.
Disco buses.
And you peek out, and from your position, you can see that there's the light. There's no sirens or anything. But you see somebody being stretchered out of they've got a stookie. They've got a cast on their leg. And it's somebody you
like a kid?
recognise.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an older kid. And their mum's there. And the two of them get into the ambulance, and you assume that they're getting a lift home. But yeah, they've got a
Ooh.
cast on their leg.
Oh dear. Who is
And
it?
it's Hugh Davidson. And you don't particularly like Hugh Davidson. He gives you a bit hassle at school.
Yeah.
He kind of pushes you around a bit and just gets in your way in corridors, and when you were younger he took your lunch money. He's a bit of a bully, and he hangs out with other kids that you don't like them very much.
Right. Hey, that's Hugh's mum.
That, or he's getting kidnapped by some random lady.
No, it's definitely his mum.
Does she look
And
angry?
Dude, that's a good point.
Yeah, so you've got
Or
your sister
concerned.
down. You could actually walk around the top and look out from above, because you've got the mezzanine floor around the top there, and you look out from above, jumping across some of the gaps in the wood where they've just cracked down, it's crumbled, and the ceiling's totally broken away. And you look out the window, and you've got a much better vantage point. You can see down over the ambulance, and you see Hugh getting like lifted up on by the orderlies that work at the health centre, and they're just getting him in and strapped in. And then you see Hugh's mum. She doesn't look angry. She looks tired, but that's kind of nature's for the adults, right? That's what they're like.
Hmm.
Carol,
We should go over and find out what happened.
Yeah, be nonchalant.
Yeah.
Inconspicuous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go and laugh at him.
You go just walk across there like he's supposed to be there, right? Kids know how to walk normally on command.
Yeah.
Carol,
Sorry.
you remember seeing somebody else from Hugh's gang. You walked past them on the street.
What, did Carol freeze?
I think Carol's frozen.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no, the time leap got her. Just pretend
Okay.
she's sleeping.
Oh, yeah. She's contemplating.
Yeah.
It's a very
Meditating.
contemplative face that's going on. there.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh,
that's all right. We'll
Oh
fix it.
dear.
I mean, she'll be back in a second, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
I'll quickly change the location of the server just in case it's causing troubles. There we go.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you're looking over, and you say, should we go over? So yeah,
Hmm.
are you going to go over?
Yes. Like, go over, but don't try and look like you're just to, like, be nosy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where if we've been kind of bullied by him in the past, maybe we'll go over there and try to act concerned so that he thinks we're actually his friends. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, pretend like we're friends.
Yeah, yeah. Because then maybe
Yeah,
he'll look
innocent
kindly on us.
bystanders.
If we're nice to him, then maybe he'll look kindly on us later.
And Carol says, I saw Trevor Hugh's friend. You know who Trevor is.
Yeah.
He's the big surly guy. I saw him with an arm plaster on.
Oh, maybe they were fighting.
So you cut to the scene where you're just walking along the pavement outside the health center, and
Yeah, I guess we're probably kind of waiting for Jamie maybe to say something because she's probably cooler than the rest of us, and maybe Huey doesn't give her quite as much grief. Maybe.
What was his name again?
It's Huey.
Well, it's
Hugh,
Hugh.
yeah.
It's Hugh for
Hugh.
everyone else. It's Huey for Martin for some unspecified reason.
Okay, I'm gonna peek into the ambulance.
We're like that, me and Hugh.
Be like, Hugh, what happened?
he looks at you. He turns around and looks at you and just stares at you. Yeah. And he looks and he just says, "Nothing. It was fine." And his mum says, "Yes, Hugh. What happened?"
It looks like it hurts you.
It's fine. Doesn't hurt. I could walk. They'll put me in, taking us home. They're just waiting for the drivers to get back from the.
You weren't
Be
in the
going
woods,
back
were
in a
you?
minute. He kind of looks a bit sheepish at this point.
And I do. I look down as well.
And he's like, "Don't think this means I haven't forgotten, Marty. I'm still gonna get you." And then his mum just clouts him across the lug when he says that.
I kind of step back then, and I'm going to let Jamie do the talking.
I say, well, maybe you. And then she takes a deep breath. Maybe you deserve a broken leg.
And Hugh's mum clips you around the ear. Because we could do that in the 80s.
Yeah. How about what about a charm roll at this point?
Okay.
From Jamie at this point, because Hugh doesn't mind that kind of talk. That's the kind of way that he talks to his friends all the time. So he's fine with that.
Yeah, give him a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Hey, no worries.
No.
Yeah, he looks at you from the back of the ambulance and he says, "Yeah, we were in the woods. Don't go there. If you go there, you'll just die." And his mum clouts him across the lug again, and then the car, you hear the orderly comes back and shuts the. He says, "Excuse me, kids," and he closes the door. "We'll get you home. Don't worry. We'll take you back. Just a minute." And the engine starts up, and the ambulance pulls away.
Maybe Trevor will be more willing to talk.
I don't know. I don't like him either.
You said that about everybody.
I think I saw him earlier, maybe.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But, was he okay?
I
Was
don't
he in the
know,
woods?
He looked pissed. He'd, like, broken his arm or done something to his arm, I think. It wasn't really paying that much attention, to be honest.
Well, I'm kind of curious what's going on in the woods.
Yeah?
I mean, Hugh says we'll die if we go to the woods.
Oh,
He's
come
kind of a
on.
jerk.
Yeah, he just talks big.
I mean,
Yeah,
clearly,
if we
whatever
go
it
to the
was, just
woods.
broke his leg. It didn't do anything major.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer person.
Well,
Besides, I bet him and Trevor just got into a fight.
yeah. Yeah, because they're stupid. That's probably why.
Or maybe there's just someone in the woods who doesn't like assholes.
And when I say that, the ambulance you see turning, and almost like karma payback, just as they turn down into the Cannon Gate towards the main road that passes down the valley, a large Gauss sign floats up in the air. Just a few feet, 10 feet or so above the road. It hovers into position over the road, and it says, road closed 30 minutes, freighter travel. It's a sign that you've seen before, and it basically means that there's a Gauss freighter, a magnetronic machine coming down the valley, and it flies on. It hovers down the main road, and it's going. They always go to Shepa. They always use the road to travel something or a thing down. And you've seen it before. You recognise this. It's not new to you, but for everybody at home, there's these discs that pulse in different orders, and it rises up, and then above it is a large signboard, which has got very pixelated, like a road sign, and the text written, and it just hovers up and over the road, and so the ambulance stops, and you see it do a U-turn, and it travels back up the Cannon Gate to a different part of town, in the hope, of course, that it'll be able to get to the other exit onto the road and up into the other part of town to take Hugh and his mum home.
They could be waiting a long time.
So that's it. That's the scene. There is this mag. It's only about 100 meters long. It's not a big one. You know that there are bigger ones of these things, but if you hang around long enough, you'll see it coming down the valley and cutting through the town. And once it's passed, obviously the road will open again. But it takes about half an hour for the journey. The mag machine. So that'll be it. And it's still the daytime. It's still light. And it's still warm as well. Any mad ants that might want fires are clearly not going to get any sticks from their niece today. Jamie's been reunited with the younger sister. What scenes would you like to do next, guys? Have you got any ideas?
That leads to the woods.
Yeah, I think
Trevor?
it's one of these things where would we go looking
Yeah.
for Trevor? I mean, was it?
I think the woods sounds kind of cool, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I think we'd go straight to the wood.
I think so.
Trevor's kind of a jerk.
We don't know
Yeah,
we don't know which woods, or specifically which part of the
Trevor's-
woods.
Trevor's bigger than Hugh as well, so yeah, I think we'd go straight to the wood.
I can find some wet sticks for my aunt. That would be great.
Your aunt would probably burn the house down if she started a fire.
Yeah,
Probably.
maybe that's the plan.
Yeah, maybe if the sticks are wet enough or green enough, maybe the smoke will get her before the fire does.
Any oleander growing?
Okay. And you guys know that Trevor and Hugh and the rest of his crew have a place quite near their houses. Like, there's a little bit of a hideout that you know they have. You've probably followed them back and spied on them going into it. And it is it's made in a sandy bank. It's almost like a cave, but they've fortified it and they've put things over it to try and make it look cool. It's basically a hole in the ground. But that's their gang hut, and you know it's there. But you also know that if you go there, you'll get caught and
Yeah.
probably chased by them. In fact, that might well be what happened, one of your transgressions before. So I could play. We could start the scene with you at the edge of the woods where this is, as your obvious lead, and you're standing in a stony path, looking up at this banking, and there's trees in the field that go up to where some of the factories are, the out of town factories, and there's woods all the way running between those and the houses, and you're standing looking at this place, and you know it's their gang, and you know it's where they hang out.
Can we see anybody knocking around there at the moment?
Nobody there just now.
Maybe they're both at home because they're hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Hugh's not going to be here, is he?
Why does that change your mind on something?
I'm gonna try and sneak closer to get a closer look.
Yeah, and you also know that Stuart, Kevin, and Grant as well are part of this as well. There's the 5 of them that hang out. So yeah, sneak closer. I think that's also calls for a bit of a roll, doesn't it? Let's
Like a leaf on the
let's
wind.
see how stealthy you are as you walk up this path and try and climb through the brush up this bank towards the entrance.
I'm going to leap from tree to tree and then find like a tall bush that I can duck down behind.
Oh, okay.
It might be a bit high up for
Oh,
bushes
yeah.
if you leap in from tree to tree.
Oh no!
Yeah. I know. Yes, you're hiding behind each tree and each tree. Yeah. So let's.
The rules.
The rolls aren't good. You dislodge a whole pile of sand, and you begin to slide back down the banking that you've got, and you're about to land in a big bunch of nettles. If you don't actually get yourself moved, you're going to slide right into some nettles, and that's going to be sore. So what are
I
you going
should
to
probably
do?
take the injured condition.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
up to
got
you. You can
Buckley.
try and you
Try
can
and
try
risk it
you can
for
try
a
and dodge
biscuit.
it. You can try and dodge it. If you use a skill that you've got, you could use move to try and get out of the way and roll out. Let's see. Go for a move roll and see if you can make it.
This is gonna be slick. No! It's not.
Wow.
You're gonna have a bad time for the rest of the day.
That's
Yeah.
3 fails in a row.
Yeah.
So you slide into these nettles, but you've got your jacket on, you've got your boots on, you've got trousers on. You don't get stung that badly, but you do kind of curse yourself. You have a couple of stings on your hands, and you stand up and kind of dust yourself down and look back up. Nobody seems to be alerted anyway. There's no sign of movement coming out from there, but you know that this is where they hang out.
Maybe there's no one there.
And they'd have heard her, right?
I mean, I don't know how they couldn't.
You okay?
I think so. I don't
it's
see
like,
anybody.
like my
up
arm's
here,
supposed to do this, right?
though. There's supposed to be bones sticking out, right?
Yeah.
It's my superpower.
I guess
Passes
that
out.
solves the mystery of the woods.
Yeah, apparently leaping from tree to tree results in injuries. Like broken arms and legs. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I'm gonna move up and see if Jamie needs a hand.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'll just sneak up as well. Just see if
Oh, we're not sneaking.
Well, I mean, I bought a point to sneak. It's time for her to earn this money.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I
Alright,
didn't
so Alex
realize.
is
Go ahead.
Alex is sneaking up. Yeah, give it a roll. See how sneaky you can be climbing up this banking to get to this. There you go. You sneak your way quietly without any noise, whilst the rest of them tend to Jamie and get Jamie out the nettles. There is nobody at there. You know that to get into this place you have to sort of move aside a crate, and then there's a sort of tarp that is fixed onto the top of the bank, and as you move that, it reveals this sandy cave at the back. But there is nobody there. It's quiet.
Ooh. How far away from us is Alex then at this point? If he's at the entrance.
He's not that far. It's up this sandy slope, and then it goes a little bit so maybe 60 meters or so. Not that far.
Okay.
We go in?
If there's no noise, we have a peek.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I've never been in this gang hut before. It feels a bit dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
if you get caught, you're going to get battered.
I'm gonna sneak in.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what we see.
YOLO.
I mean, I'm hoping that like if they like a couple of them got hurt, then they'll have like vacated the area for the day.
Yeah.
Because that's what kids do.
I think I'm not gonna sneak. I'm just going to like take a deep breath and act all cool and just walk in.
Yeah. There you go.
You have to duck slightly to get through the opening, but once you're in there, there's a small banking that's somehow ripped apart, and there's a slight cave that it's created behind, and so it's not high. You're down, kind of stooped over, even though you're not especially tall, and it's quite impressive what they've managed to do. They've shored it up with bits of wood that they've gathered from places. They've got corrugated rusty iron to stop the dirt and the sand sliding. They've even managed to put a couple of larger bits of wood across the top just to hold it in place, and then at the back there's a couple of milk crates. One of them probably had iron brew in it, and they've got them sitting down, and there's a box at the back, and some there's some slightly worn looking magazines at the back as well.
Our hideout is so much cooler.
Yeah, let's take some souvenirs of our invasion of their turf.
I'm gonna take a look at the magazine.
I wouldn't.
Oh, you regret
Yeah, you probably don't want to look at the magazines. Teenage boys hide in the woods.
One of them was called
Forest
Razzle.
Lawn is a thing.
We could use the blackmail.
Sure.
And it's got pictures of naked ladies in it, in very exposed positions.
Can I check to see if anyone was dumb enough to write their name on it?
They're a
No,
subscriber. No. There's it's got their address on the top. It's been delivered by the paper
Yeah.
boy.
One gang hut way. In the
Maybe like
forest.
use Dad's address on it.
Oh
No,
that's
there's
a good-
nothing. There's nothing written on it. No.
Darn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to take it around town and see if anyone recognizes it and is willing to
But
own
you
up.
know what? You know what? Do you want there to be something written on it? Because that's not for me to say. Go on. Do you actually? Are you identifying? Have they stolen it from somebody in their family?
Yes.
All right then. So it's got just at the top, on the inside of the cover, it's got Davidson written on it.
I'm gonna take it and put it inside my jacket.
It's in, it's like
What
a
the rest of you
preteen
think?
blackmailer.
We got dirt on him.
Is there any other cool stuff in here? Other
Yeah, there's a box.
A
like a storage box. Let's go check it out. What's
Boxes
in
are
there?
cool.
It looks like it's been put there to be watertight. And you open it up, and inside
Marty, it's a
there's a
Starship
drawing.
Enterprise.
There's a very
What?
crude drawing, and at the bottom of it, there's a small Starship Enterprise figure.
You can keep your Russell. There's a Starship Enterprise.
Oh, no, I was joking. I was the box. I was gonna say there's something in the box. It's just like just to get Martin to come up, he'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
Why do you hate
I
me?
Yeah.
That's fine.
These
We can have a
guys-
tiny model Enterprise. I don't really know what a tiny plastic toy in the 80s would have looked like detail-wise. Probably just be like it's a
something
blob.
of-
With,
yeah.
be like a grey
Yeah.
blob with a Star
It would have
Star
looked
Trek logo on it.
amazing. It would have looked amazing, like everything from the 80s.
And there's a few other toys in there. One of them you recognize. It's it's one of these little plastic discs that if you poke them down and then you let them sit on the thing and then it pops, it goes poop and it spots up in the air. Yeah, there's just a bunch of crap. You reckon they probably pinched these from people? You don't actually think these are their toys?
No,
These are
they
probably
stole
stuff
these
that-
from the cover of the comics, didn't they, out of the shop? That's what they were doing.
Oh, we
These
could
were
do like a
attached to it.
Robin of Sherwood and steal them back and try and give them back to the kids who probably could like own them or appreciate them.
But one thing that is there that you are a bit intrigued by is a crude sketch of the area, and it looks like they've got a map with the gang hut in it.
Mm.
Is there anything else on the map? Like a X marks
Yeah,
the spot?
there's pretty much. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. They've marked. There's looks like ropes that they might have put down in places, ladders, houses. It goes all the way up the woods to the end before it really goes right out of town and beyond the factories. And it's right at the top there that there's a picture that you can ascertain. It looks kind of like. It looks kind of like the Superman logo, as best you can tell.
Not very talented artists, are they?
Mm. What do you think it means? I mean, it looks like Superman, but I what's the Shepard logo? Does it bear any similarity to that? No.
Maybe they're just really bad artists.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Imagine if it had been like superpowers be here, that like they all would have gone there, right?
Shall
Sorry,
we
they
check
just ran
this
on the map.
map?
Yeah, let's go.
please?
There's only one way to know what it actually means.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll cut the walking through the woods. It's still light. It's middle summer. It's light until 11:30. And it's not that late yet. You're walking up through the woods. You see the lights of the factory. You hear the noises and the beeps of the machines in some of the factories. The factory here at the top of the hill is a plastics factory. And it makes a whole host of pipes, clothes hangers, and the like. And some of the people you know work there. But the woods carry on beyond that, and you get to the point where the scene is just in quite far in the background. The lights are of the factory and the noise, and the camera pans up through the trees, above the treetop, into the forest area. And as the camera continues to move, the sight following you guys quickly to find your position, it comes down through the trees at a point where it's relatively clear, and you find yourself standing at the edge of a quarry, an old quarry. It's an ancient quarry, and it's not somewhere that you've necessarily hung out before because of people like Hugh, and that's just not somewhere that you've gone. Trevor, Stuart, Grant, Kevin, these people have all kind of just. This has not really been a place that you've ever really gone to. because you really didn't want to bang into them, probably. But yeah, you're standing just at the edge of this quarry. And it's not huge. The quarry isn't vast. It's not a modern quarry. It's a very old quarry, and it's overgrown. There are plants and trees growing along the far side of it. It's only maybe about 40 or 50 foot high, and it's quite a rounded shape. The bottom of it is grass, and there are paths cut where the deer and the sheep would probably walk through it. There's some sandy banks on one side, and at the bottom, just where the path leads, there's a pile of strange looking wood. It's very old looking, just dry timber, cut to particular shapes. It looks specific. It looks like it's been whittled or carved. And there's about 6 or 7 of these pieces of wood just in a pile at the side of the path.
So the
And that's where we pick up. Yeah. There's holes in the end of them. Give me some sort of roll, tinker,
Okay.
or what else have we got? Calculate,
investigate.
investigate. Yeah, comprehend. Yeah, something. Give me something like that. Investigate might be a good one.
Yeah, I'll go for investigate if that's all right.
Go for it.
You
I'm
throw in
also gonna
comprehend.
pick out this wood. I'll do investigate.
2
successes.
2 successes. I investigate the hell out of these things.
Okay.
Jeez, how did that fail? I did 8. I got 0
Oh,
successes.
Yeah. Carol, you pick up one bit of this wood, this nice dry kindling looking wood, and you pick up another bit, and you put them together, and it kind of looks like maybe it formed. Maybe if there was a screw in them, it might kind of form like a hinge or something. You're not really sure. Marty, you also look at this thing and you realize that this is part of something, and you look at it and you pick up this longer bit of wood, and there's holes along the top of it, like it's been drilled out, just to place a bit of wood. And you find another bit of wood and you sort of put it in there, but you've also got an extra success. So if you want, you can ask an additional. You can ask an additional question.
Okay.
What is hidden here, and where is it? What does it mean? What has happened here? How can you get out of something? What threats can you perceive? And where is it?
Okay. I'm thinking, what does it mean? Might be a useful question.
Yeah. This looks like it's something. It looks like it's a construction of something. It looks like something's been disassembled, taken apart, that once had some sort of form. There are bits to it that you don't quite know, but it's clearly something. You just don't have enough of it to know what that something is.
Oh, right.
But
So
clearly
the idea is that it's not all here. This isn't complete.
That yeah.
Right.
You would get that. You'd look at it because there's bits that are circular. There's a couple of circular bits, but it doesn't make a full circle. But there's joints at the end of each bit, which would suggest that there's two other parts of it.
It's like some kind of kit, but it's not all here. Like Meccano or something.
Cool.
We could have a look around, see if the rest of it's here. I mean,
we can make our own if we need it somehow.
Oh.
It's just wood.
Let's take them with us and go look for more pieces.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's some more scattered around somewhere. This is where the S was then, was it? On the map?
You're pretty sure it is, yeah.
Seems like a weird thing to have scattered around.
Yeah, why were they so interested in it and put it on a map? It's just wood. Just pieces of wood, right?
Don't know.
Is it right in the center? This pile, is it right in the center
No,
of the quarry?
no, it's not. It's right on the edge. You're still standing on the edge. You've got like bushes that go to your right. You've got a high hill up to your left where the quarry's been dug out the earth and it kind of scatters down a wee cliff. And you're standing at the bottom of this cliff with the gorse bushes and the heather and the trees fanning off and round the other side of the quarry onto the right hand side, and you're just in this opening that's maybe about 6 foot wide that goes into the grassy bit of the quarry.
I mean, it looks pretty overgrown. I don't know if we'll find anything, but we could have a look around, see if we can find any more of this thing.
Definitely.
I'll take the right side.
Okay.
So, Jamie, you head off back down the path a little bit and kind of around the outside.
I'll go for the Jamie because I probably shouldn't go off alone. This far out.
It's probably wise.
I
Now,
guess
The buddy
we'll
system.
go left.
Yeah, sure. I'm looking up at the cliff, at the bit. So we're at the bottom of the cliff, you say, right? Does this thing look like it's maybe fallen from the top?
So the cliff goes up to your left, and
Yeah.
it's flat path. There's a flat path into the quarry. The quarry side comes down, and it's all flat. So you're at the level that's been dug out. It doesn't go down any further than you are. You're at that level. So it's possible, but you couldn't climb up that side of the cliff. You'd have to go in and then get up it from the far side of the...
Yeah, I mean, is it? Do you think we should have a look? Maybe it fell from up there.
Worth a shot.
Maybe the rest of it's.
Yeah.
And if that's to the left, then yeah, I guess Caro and I can head up that way.
Yeah, so what happens next as you walk into the quarry, you take that step over and into the grass, the bowl that's been carved out, and immediately you walk in there, your feet begin to rise up off the ground, and you are not standing on the ground. You are about an inch off the ground, the two of you. You've actually risen up in the air.
Well, this is cool.
Yeah.
The neat trick.
Oh.
I wonder if this is how they broke their limbs.
Yeah. So maybe if you go further, you go higher, and then it
And
just
then
suddenly
you don't.
stops, and then you fall.
Anyway, some way to test that hypothesis.
Alex, come here.
Maybe we should get some rope in case you can't get back down again.
Maybe we could like try. I wonder why it's people and there's not just a bunch of floating rocks.
If we step back, do we step back onto the ground?
And as you step back, as you try and move yourself, you try and force yourself, and it's a really strange sensation. You kind of fall over, and you find yourself lying back. Your body just give me a move roll to see how well you do.
Can we just say I failed? Let's not even bother.
Yeah. You can't get the momentum to travel back the way you came.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. So both of you, you kind of, your body begins as you sort of try to move yourself, and you don't know how you're doing it. But as you do, you get to the edge, and it's almost just like taking a big step down. You twist yourself around, and you manage to take a big step down, and you just land on the path next to the pile of sticks.
that was weird.
That
Did
was
you guys
very
see
weird.
that?
See what? We're off exploring
Show
the
us,
side
what
of the
did you
quarry,
find?
aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least you weren't cursed to like be constantly 1 inch off the floor for the rest of your life.
I mean, can you imagine? Yeah. Although Martin probably quite like being an inch taller. And maybe we should try it with rocks. Maybe we should get some rocks and see if that actually.
Well, you got those wooden sticks.
We have.
Yeah. Let's put them down.
Yeah, let's see if it's just people that are levitating or whether it's anything.
This wood, does it look like the wood that's like locally available or something? Like, is it just like normal wood looking?
Ooh.
Sorry, you mute.
That needs a roll for sure. What role would you take for that?
Ooh.
Let's see.
Would that be like
Calculate.
a comprehend or
Maybe posted the rules
would,
in Discord.
would investigate work for that as well?
Investigate comprehend, I think.
Can I go investigate?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, go for it.
Hmm.
It's woody.
It's woody. It is dry.
I mean, it looks like it's kind of it's like processed, right? So there's like it's kind of been sanded down and maybe been lacquered or varnished or something like that. It's not
Maybe.
like
Yeah,
it's not like somebody's
Not
broken
stick.
branches off and yeah.
absolutely. It's processed. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's crafted. Crafted.
Yes,
you can
that's
see
the
that
word,
clearly. Yeah.
Well, it's too dry to take home.
I look a little bit confused. What do you mean?
My aunt wants wood for a fire. I don't think she should be playing with fire.
I mean, this a burn, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless there's some chemical on it.
Yeah. I don't know. She came storming up into my room before, and I figured I'd just go and find the wettest wood that I could find in the forest. And then I ran into Jamie's sister, and now we're here, and this is way more interesting than whatever that crazy woman's up to.
Why does she want to start a fire?
I don't know, she's crazy. She just... Apparently putting a jumper on is too much for her.
So how big are these pieces of wood out of it? I don't know if we've asked that yet, have we?
Yeah, some of them are like spindles, and they're about yay size. Some parts of the ones that have got the grooves that look like locked together are quite thick, thicker than your arm.
Right.
Like someone tried to make like a wooden mannequin or something.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if it was kind of shaped in that way, or whether it was like bits of fence panel or something like that. That's kind of. But they're actually kind of rounded, some of them, and
Some of them,
or
yeah. Some of them look like some of them,
cylindrical almost.
yeah. Some of them look like the round like that, and they look like when you slot them together, they make that look like a frame of some description. You're not sure.
It's probably got nothing to do with this floating in the air, but they wrote the Superman sign because you fly.
Yeah.
But then it stops at some point, and then they fell and hurt themselves.
Seems like it.
I mean, how
And
far
it
away are
was-
we at this point with Jamie? Just to gauge how this conversation happened.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys can be back because Marty shouted you,
Cinématique
right?
Trailers.
Yeah, because there was some
He shouted
weird
you.
stuff happening. Yeah.
He said, "Have you seen this, guys?" And then, so I assumed you'd come back at that point. So you're walking
Yeah.
kind of back. Roll me, but before you come back, roll me both investigate or something that allows you to look for the thing that you're looking for. I think investigate's probably the best.
Yeah, look,
Man,
investigate
what's
and finding
that?
clues.
Oh,
Oh wow!
Oh,
Yay!
Right,
Wow.
Jamie, so
found
firstly, you find like a tarpaulin canvas, a canvas cloth thick canvas cloth, and it's just been dumped, and quite close to where you were. It's just been dumped, and you also, with those successes, you get a bonus effect if you use the information that you get. You'll get a +1 die on the next roll that you use that information, and you can have up to 2 because you've got 3 successes. You've got 2 successes to play with. So you can either take your bonus effect, which is to get an additional die the next time you roll this, but you can also find out what it is, what's hidden here, what has happened here, how can you get into or out of or past something, what threats are there, and where is it. So you've got some extra information you can get from those extra 2 successes.
So I either get a bonus roll or I get additional information?
Yeah, you can use one of those successes for a bonus roll if you wish, or you can use both of them to get information. Or you can use both of them for a bonus roll if you just want to. But yeah, you can either ask 2 questions, you can have 2 bonus points for the next roll based on that information, or that you've already got with the sheet, or you can mix up 1 and 1 or whatever you want to do. So yeah.
Well, considering how bad my rolls were to begin with, I'm gonna save 1 for a bonus roll.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask about the canvas. Does it look like it could fit around the wooden objects we found? Like, are there any markings on it or holes?
Yeah, so what does it mean, I guess, would be the closest to that. This tarpaulin, this canvas definitely looks like it would fit. It looks like there's an area at the end of it that's like a clamp, and it would fit into one of the bits of wood, but there are definitely pieces missing. But this looks like a big sail of some description.
Oh.
Maybe someone tried to make a parachute.
I will gather up the canvas and take it back to the others.
Alex, you also had a success.
Yeah, just the one.
You walk around a little bit further as you see Jamie pulling this tarp out from under the plants, and you look through into the center of the quarry, and you see a strange metallic dome about the size of like a rugby ball, but rounded on top.
Yeah.
If you might like a rugby ball just in the ground. It's not big, and it's round on top, and it's a kind of red. Looks like it's been painted red.
Like painted as in like industrial painting, where it's sort of like rather than like some kids splashing some paint on it trying to do a good job.
No, it looks like it's been
alright. There's like
coated.
equipment.
Yeah.
Right. They related. We can catch it. Maybe we can get superpowers on demand. Alright, I'll head back. I'll give Jamie a hand with the tarp as well. We can head back.
Thanks.
Now we just have to work how we can get to it, if we want to.
Yeah, so the 4 of you are there. So you come round the corner with this stuff, and you see Marty and Caro talking excitedly to each other.
What's up?
Hey.
We can
Come
fly.
Look, come and take a look at this. And I take 1 step forward.
Nothing happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
typical.
and as you step across the threshold, and again you rise up about a foot in the air.
Oh, that's cool.
Whoa!
That was
You're
more than last
flying!
time, wasn't it?
What do you think it means? I mean,
It could mean a bunch of things.
Marty
Name
solidly.
one.
Like, what's causing it and how it's doing it are probably more important questions.
At least we know how the boys got hurt. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We should get arrested with like a rope or something, just so nobody gets like drifted off too far if this thing doesn't stop.
I mean, we don't drift at all, do we? We just kind of stand there and hovering in place unless we move again.
Unless you try and you've got this strange convulsion that you have to do to try and get yourself orientated round and turn round to
Yeah.
look at them.
You've got no way of like propulsion, so like you need. Ideally, a rope would probably help you at least get pulled back to safety.
I mean, I guess I'm not too far away. If they were to hold out one of these pieces of wood that they've got, and I could hang on to that, maybe I could take another step.
Yeah, there's some old cables or rope left around.
Yeah.
If there's like a top hole in. But yeah, I wonder if it's that related to that rugby ball thing in the middle of the quarry that I saw.
The what?
Like some kind of red metal ball thing in the middle of the quarry. I wonder if that's
Weird.
related. Maybe it's like some kind of anti-gravity device, or maybe one of these magnetrine things fell off. I don't really know how they work. Specific. And it's making the whole quarry weird. Who knows?
Sounds about right, though. Sounds, yeah.
And then think if we could find a way to get to it.
I'm just staring at Alex, nodding my head like I understand the words coming out of his mouth.
Because imagine it'd be like the ultimate trophy to take back to the fire station. We wouldn't need that. Like we wouldn't need the fireman chute
wouldn't
anymore.
need
You could
the
just
pole.
fly up and down between floors.
That
Who
would
needs
be
stairs?
so
That'd be
cool.
great.
What if we spread the tarp out and see if we can make that float?
Yeah. You have any luck? Anything else to float?
I take, spread it out. I'll hang on to one end and I'll take another step. You guys hold on the other end. Let's see what happens.
Oh, good idea. Push.
I hate you.
Well, with the extra momentum applied by Alex, holding on to the tarp, as soon as the tarp goes into the space, it immediately billows and fills and rises up.
Uh-oh.
Whoa!
Oh no.
You feel yourself, Marty. You feel yourself getting pulled up as you're holding on to this.
All right, let's put it back
Oh,
in,
shit.
everyone.
I start hauling on my corner.
I mean, if
Yeah.
every part of his family disappears mysteriously, someone's gonna get suspicious.
Yeah, and they're gonna blame you.
Let's pull him back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you pull him back in?
I mean, we got the other end of the tarpaulin. Like, and just sort of, like
okay.
try to pull
You
that in.
start
I mean,
hauling at it.
it'd be flapping, but like, try and just just sort of like dig our feet in and try and heave it back.
Do
Can I
I
get
like
another
to-
move?
Just yank him.
Marty,
Well, can I lose my
Marty, you
footing?
may
I'm
want
gonna
Marty.
have to
Yeah,
go
I'd say
down.
if you can, try and climb down, because if it's
Yeah.
still billowing when it gets out of
Oh,
the field, I
good
imagine
idea.
bad things are going to happen to your legs.
Yeah.
I have a
I'm sort of
suspicion.
both. So,
However,
I
do you
mean,
do
it's
you?
not basically what happened when the tarpaulin billows. It's like a sail's got wind caught in it, right?
Hmm.
Does it start to lift up, and I'm basically Marty is kind of thrown.
Slowly,
Wait.
gently. Yeah,
Okay.
you're pulled
Yeah.
pulled upwards,
Right.
and then it stops when the side the corner that's being held by the rest of them. It doesn't like force it. As soon as there's any
Yeah.
resistance, it stops. So you're now
Okay.
about
It's like
You're about
billowing
8
in a
foot
breeze
up off
rather
the
than like
ground now.
catching the
Oh,
wind like a
okay.
sail, where it's sort of
yeah
No problem.
yeah. It fills up
Yeah.
as if there's
So you might want to try climb down before.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try and drag myself along the side of the tarpaulin then.
Yeah, so you've been to do
Back
that.
to
Give
the
me a
ground.
move. Give me a move roll as you're doing this.
You know, I'd love to do that. Oh,
Ah. Yeah, you're getting the hang of this.
Yeah.
You're getting the hang of this kind of weird effect, aren't you?
I'd like to make
Yeah.
it so that extra success, I don't have to make this roll ever again.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
not
So
today.
you're
Horrendous
fine.
fractures.
Yeah, you've now got the hang of moving, and when you climb down, you're still about 3 foot off the ground when you come to the edge of it, and you look
Right.
there. Do you jump? Do you just kind of push yourself out and jump down, or how do you? How do you?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's kind of do that because he's trying to show off to his friends a little bit, maybe as well. At this point.
Yeah.
That's
so-
well.
You do that. You push yourself out, and as your feet hit the ground, something catches your eye, just in the corner.
Oh.
Look to your left, where the pile of wood is.
Okay. I'm gonna have a closer examination of what's going on over there.
Yeah, you definitely need to give me a roll for that one.
And investigate or comprehend or something.
Yeah,
maybe,
something that allows you to see something. Comprehend. Comprehend is a right piece of information. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Investigate.
Give me a comprehend. Give me a comprehend roll.
Okay. Right. None.
Yeah. Something happened over there. It caught your eye, but you're not sure what it is.
Ooh. So I just say, "Hey, what was that?"
What was what?
And I'm gonna point over to in the direction of is it the wood pile? You say?
Yeah.
Was it like movement, or was it
Yeah.
something just moved over there?
I'll go have a look. You guys want to hang on to the tarpaulin?
The tarpaulin.
We probably shouldn't all let go.
Floated up.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at the pile. Do I see anything weird? Ghost predators. Monsters?
Give me a. You're actually getting right in there, aren't you? You're looking for something. Give me an investigate roll, and you're right up against it, and you're falling in 2 successes. Yeah, there's an extra piece of wood there.
Oh.
There's another piece of wood.
It's just
another.
arrived.
Yeah, another round piece
disappeared.
of wood. And it seems to slot in to make almost a full circle of a piece of wood.
That's weird.
And you've got another success to play with. Another investigate success. So
I think of a question that might help. I don't really know what to ask.
what is hidden here?
Yeah,
Where is it?
Yeah, that's it. It's just I can try to imagine what would this be used for? Like, is it like a life preserver, or you said it looks like it's assembling into like a circular shape?
Yeah. So you're reminded, as you're looking at this this complete piece of wood, you're reminded of something that you saw in school a long time in the past, many hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, that's a long school year.
An artist created a picture of a flying machine, and you.
Oh, so like one of those Da Vinci flying machines.
You try and
Like the
you
pedal
try
helicopter.
and put up and Da Vinci. You're sort of thinking about this, and you got the name comes back to you.
Guys, I have a feeling I know what this is. I don't know what's missing from it or how to make it work. I think
What
someone
is
tried to
it?
make some kind of flying contraption with these pieces of wood. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to find a way. Maybe they were trying to find a way to get into the field. I don't know if it's like maybe it's better to do it this way. I don't know.
You think it was Hugh and his friends? Think they were trying to make it? Nah, they're
I
too
don't-
Are they
stupid,
smart
right?
enough? I
I don't
Nah,
think they're
that's-
smart enough.
don't think a bunch of meatheads can come up with this. So what if someone else found this and like they try to hide it, and then I don't know, maybe they disappeared or left it behind?
It looks like it's been chucked. It looks like it's been forgotten. It looks like it's been discarded
Oh.
and just you had to pull it out from the undergrowth and it some plants
Yeah,
had
maybe-
grown over it.
Maybe they just couldn't make it work properly.
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, if they had this weird part that just randomly appeared, like I don't think it was in the pile before. You saw it.
Now that he's saying that, do I feel like this thing just fell out of the sky and landed in place? Is that what I
Not so
saw?
much. Yeah, not so much. It's almost like it appeared
In the pile.
underneath. Yeah, from the ground. Almost like it just popped out and moved and shuffled the other ones that were out of the way, kind of just moved it a little bit forward and up and the other ones to one side.
Mysterious. Tres mysterious. As they say in French.
Yeah. So as you're standing there, watching, looking at all this stuff, is that a good point for a break?
Yeah.
yeah.
Peak mystery. Alright, well, we'll see everyone in 10 minutes. Go have a sandwich.
Yeah. So you're standing there at the side of the quarry, and you're looking at the various bits that you have assembled, and you're sort of looking at this, and Alex has had this bit of imagination, a bit of recall
Epiphany.
from his school. Yeah, it's an old Michelangelo flying machine that he saw at school. And as you're having this discussion, you hear voices in the back of the forest. There is definite voices.
It's not a strain.
And it's
It's
just noise.
Stuart
There's people
Granton.
talking. Yeah, you make that connection very
Mm.
quickly.
So we can hide, or we can run for it.
Oh,
Well,
Can I rush to dump all the parts into the tart so we can
yeah,
carry
let's do
them
that.
with
We
us?
can, yeah.
Sounds good.
yeah. You can do that. You've got a bit of time. You just catch the voices on the wind, so they're still a wee bit far away.
And then I'm gonna start
Let's hurry.
looking for where we can run, the closest tree line that's away from the voices.
I mean, if we could get up on the ridge, we might be able to just like hide up over there somewhere.
Yeah, want to
Yeah.
see what they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Wanna see-
Yeah.
wanna watch them
Okay.
break their arms or legs. That's what we want to do.
That's a good call.
Yeah. 20 minutes and a horrible
yeah.
snapping noise later.
Yeah. So you can get a little bit back the path and then up the side, clamber your way up, and then onto the top of the ridge, which then leads off to a field as a fence, and you can get kind of at the top of the quarry and look down
Yeah.
into the quarry from a vantage point. And let me make you all do a move roll for that to see how effective you are at climbing and getting and moving up in a relatively quick manner. It'll be interesting to see.
No, I knew I should have used my bonus roll or dice.
You can use luck if you want. I think luck is you've still got some luck on your side, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've not used that yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
this has got to be painful.
I think Roll20's being nice to me this evening because of how it shit on me the other week. So badly.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a point of luck to reroll.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but like, I have no points in the thing at all. So like, I don't imagine I get a.
Oh,
success.
now you can buy
Wow.
success for somebody else if you want to. That's a possibility with your extra success.
I just need 1 point,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
That's a possibility with stealth. You can buy success.
But you don't have to do that. It's only Alex.
Hey, I'm the heart and soul of this team.
I will
Self-proclaimed,
spend one
but
of
still.
those
The art
points.
soul of this team. That's what I heard.
Before you decide, the other option is that you can find something unexpected or more of what you were looking for. Just the
I'm
choice.
gonna
That's the
help
two
Alex.
choices. Yeah.
I'm gonna like wave at Alex and like point to the easy grab holds to get up.
Yeah. So you're just like, and then Alex,
Yeah.
you're kind of, when you get struck. But yeah, so the pointing helps. Alex is clambering up. Maybe he's also holding on to the tarp that you've got with stuff in it, and he's kind of just got him up in your coattails a little bit, holding up and climbing. But you make it. You make it to the top, and you settle
Don't
down.
make him sound heroic.
Wow. Incredibly bitter for a 12-year-old.
You settle down at the top. You're pretty well covered. You've got the bushes at the top. You've got the fences. It's just a wire fence, and you're kind of behind the grass, and you can't see the path, and you're pretty sure they won't be able to see you. And you get yourself to the tree line at the edge of the quarry, and you lie await, and you hear the voices get louder, and they're chatting away. I don't know why. We told Trevor to be careful, and he's an idiot. He's an idiot, isn't he? Aye. Come on, let's go. Come on. He's going to be really annoyed when he sees that his magazine's gone. Did you take it? No, I never took it. No, well, he probably took it. If he gets caught with that, he's in trouble. And yeah, you see them, and you hear their footsteps quickening as their voices get louder. Go on, you first. You go. And you see Kevin, and he just. You kind of hear these footsteps, like he's running, and then you see him just floating like a torpedo into the center. And he's like, yes! And he's laughing and screaming while it's happening. Grant says, "Don't go too high! Don't go too high!" No, I'm fine. Watch. And he spins round, and he does like a handstand, and he just makes this kind of fake swimming motion, and he starts moving down a little bit. And he's kind of hamming it up, and then the other one, right, my turn, and he hear another voice as Stuart's like run, and then jump, and he doesn't get quite as far and just kind of laughing, and you watch the two of them now, and they've made it a little bit past halfway to the quarry with the speed that they've got, and the third of them comes running in. And run, and you sort of hear that laughing, but he's gone really low along the ground. He's just skating along it looks like he's skating his face along the ground. And he's like, "There's no way I'm going up high. Not a chance. I'm staying right close to the ground." And he rolls over, and then he pushes his feet down on the ground. And then they say, "Oh, there's another piece of that bloody wood again. We should just start a fire with it." And he looks over and he pushes himself up a little bit.
Can we make note of where that was when you said it?
Yeah.
Can we see it? The bit
In
of
case
wood.
we
as
need to
well.
go wood fishing with Marty.
He was looking over quite kind of towards the entrance a bit. Looking over to the bushes in the entrance.
Maybe the pier to
So
the last
as
place.
far as you can tell. And so they're having a bit of fun, but you notice that as they're moving around, they're kind of doing this sort of gyration thing with their body. They're sort of moving their shoulders like that, and they're sort of they're moving their way, and they're gaining altitude or losing it, but none of them go higher than the edge of the quarry. None of them go up. They're keeping relatively close to the ground, so they're no danger of actually seeing you. And you rolled well for your stealth as well, so you rolled well for your move. Actually, you didn't roll stealth. Let's see your roll for stealth now that I've said it. I thought you had already. Give me a roll for your stealth,
it's
guys,
too
if
late.
you're hiding watching them.
It's too late. We already know the secret to anti-gravity motion is the dad dance. It's all in the shoulders, baby.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're not hiding too well.
Yeah.
Again, it's roll 20, so thanks, roll 20.
So you've got Carol, you're kind of the best hidden. But the other three of you, I think really it is just a case of one of them just manages to get high enough to look over and see you sitting there, and he just points at you.
Yeah.
So you now are in danger of you're in trouble, and if you don't get out of this trouble, you're going to get hurt. You know that.
I suppose in our defense, they'd have to get out of the gravity field.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Can I try to charm him and be like, "Look, you're the runt of the litter. We could be friends.
Yeah,
Don't
go
say
for it.
anything."
Go for it. Give it a shot if you feel. Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. So who you were saying that to? Let's say it was Grant. And Grant, he looks at you, and he's about to shout something when you say that, and he stops and looks at you, and he's like, "Watch this," and he does a backflip. It's cool, isn't it? And then the other one say, "Who are you talking to?" What are you going to use what are you going to do with your extra success on?
You tell him to shut up.
She's going to convince
I'm
them
like,
all that we're the cool kids. Really.
Yeah.
We're like, "Shh, we'll talk later, okay?"
All right, so you just basically want to kind of get some extra success. Which particular skill did you roll on? Charm.
Yeah.
Charm. Let me get back and just double check what the extra effects are available. I've totally lost in place on the book. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I shouldn't be doing it there. I could do it in Roll20 because Roll20's got a compendium. There we go. Okay, bonus effect.
Also, it is pretty cool.
They will keep believing you. They will trust you as a friend. They will take risks to help you. They will try and persuade others to believe you. They're frightened, confused, or impressed, or they're infatuated. Which would you like?
All of the above.
Yeah. I mean,
You got one to pick from.
Yeah.
Oh
Both them.
boy.
You find out Jamie's just gone and joined the other gang now.
Yeah.
Let's go with infatuated because that could be fun.
Yeah. Okay. So Grant is now infatuated. It turns out, and he looks at you, and he's showing off a bit with what he does, and
makes total sense. I think. That's
Yeah,
great.
he's like, and he's just like, who? And the other one's like, what you doing? Come on, get down. Don't go too high. You'll end up in the hospital. You'll end up breaking something. Come on, down. Just stop mucking about, Grant. What are you doing? And then he just kind of he does these kind of wiggly, spirally move that he's doing, and he turns and you just see him just give a wee kind of he's trying to be like a casual kind of wave at you as he disappears out of sight.
I think we're safe, guys.
What a weirdo.
Hmm.
But at least he didn't rat us out.
Yeah,
That looks pretty cool, though, doesn't it?
it does.
It does.
But it looks like it could. But by the sounds of things, it could get out of hand. But
Yeah. It
looks
maybe
like
maybe
it has a lot
there's
of
like. Yeah, but seeing all these wooden bits in the top hole and they kind of fits together, maybe there's some kind of contraption that'll make it easier to get around in the zone. Maybe we can get a look at the actual thing in the middle.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Find out
Where
what's
was-
causing all of this.
Yeah, where was that red dome thing?
In the middle of the quarry,
It was actually
on the
in the middle
floor.
of the quarry.
Yeah.
Maybe we could attach the red thing to the flying thing and then fly elsewhere.
Yeah, that'll work. Have our own personal flying ship.
That would be so cool.
It would. I don't think it'd last very long when the adults found out, though.
Well,
Oh,
the less they know,
that's
the better
true.
Yeah,
for them.
and us.
For them.
I'm just imagining us coming back here, taking the red thing away, and then these lads coming back tomorrow. And
Oh man,
diving
the one.
into the
Oh
quarry.
my! I mean, it's gonna be fine apart from that one guy skimmed along the ground because he's just gonna tear up his face. Let's do it.
What's the plan then? What are you gonna do? What's
Well,
the
I
next scene?
When they've gone, we should get that
Hmm.
last piece of wood. I don't know if there'll be enough to complete whatever, but like, I
no,
think
but we could go to the library on Monday. We can
look it up.
maybe find the picture and maybe
Yeah.
make the bits that are missing. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, we'll make a better one.
That's cool. All right then. So we'll cut forward a couple of days.
Yeah. So we've taken the tarpaulin and the wood we've found so far, and then taken it back to the fire station.
No, it's just sorry. It's Sunday because you've just been listening to the charts.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
Monday.
Monday.
It's Monday. So yeah, and you take the bits out and you dump them variously in the fire station, and then you get back home. Carol, your aunt isn't in the house.
Oh, That's sad.
Jamie, your sister is back in the house. Marty, your dad still isn't home.
Ooh, Home Alone.
Alex, your parents seem to have cooled off. Your mum's in the kitchen with a glass of wine, and your dad, you think he must be in his study. And yeah, you go back to bed and variously, and then we'll cut straight to the next day where you're all in the library, and you're looking over a book that's got a picture of this thing on it. You found the flying machine, the works of
Leonardo da Vinci.
Michelangelo. Leonardo da Vinci.
Michelangelo da Vinci.
Michelangelo.
Thank you very much.
And Leonardo da Vinci and other flying machines that have been created by people through the ages. Scrimshaw.
Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers.
Those magnificent
Um,
men in their flying machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole gamut of all the flying machines. You look at this fantastic flying machine, the art of fantastic flying machines, and there is the picture, the round disc, the round piece of spiraling canvas. The things that you're missing seem to be some cogs and wheels and other bits and bobs. You don't have enough. You've got a reasonable amount of it.
I mean, we could go back and see if any more has appeared.
I mean, they always seem to appear when someone goes into that like field. So maybe we can coax
Maybe-
some of them other ones out, or we can, if there's stuff we can make ourselves, we can kind of fill in the blank.
Maybe your neighbor has some part we could have.
Yeah.
The one that Marty thinks is building a time machine.
Yeah.
It's like, your time machine project's useless. We need a flying machine. That.
So is that the next scene then? Are you guys at the neighbors?
Yeah, because I mean,
Oh,
as far as we're concerned, like a time
Oh,
machine and
we
a
just-
flying machines are kind of identical.
I've
Right.
seen the film. Yeah, it's got it looks like an airboat, doesn't it? The time machine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we could take the diagram. Are we able to get the book out of the library? We could book it out.
Yeah, you've got a card. You can take the book.
Yeah, and I know Mrs. Craig, the librarian.
So yeah, you've got this book. You're standing at your neighbour's. What's your neighbour? He's an old retired science officer, isn't he? He used to work at the Loop. Is that right?
My one.
Your
Yeah.
neighbor.
Your neighbour.
Yeah, he's like the
Who's got a
retired
neighbour?
crackpot scientist. Yeah, mine was.
Yeah.
And you say he's not making a time machine.
I mean, you're the one who said he was making a time machine. Specifically.
It's Caro's aunt thinks she's making a time machine.
Hey, anything's a time machine if you wait
Yeah.
long enough.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
It's like this bottle of gin's a time machine. I drink it, then I wake up 3 days later with no memory of anything in between.
So, yeah, you're standing there, and you knock at the front door, and he opens up and he looks at you. He's like, Alex, and you all, hello. How can I help you?
We want to build a flying machine, Doc.
Flying machine. Well,
I
you do
hold up
understand that
a
that's.
book with the page open.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
We're trying to build one of these. We've got most of the parts, but we're not quite sure how to make the rest, like the gears and the more intricate stuff, because we don't really have.
You
tools.
know that Da Vinci never managed to prove the success of his machine. It was a drawing, but you'll need to have materials for that. What an
Yeah.
interesting project! I approve. Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can make it
but-
work, because Da Vinci lacked street smarts like we do, like we got.
I'm not sure that.
No, I think your first bit was right.
Well, I don't think there's much I can do to help you. I don't have. And he looks at the picture. What is that? Wood, I guess. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It doesn't have to be made of.
My parts tend to be metal. And he looks at you, and then the phone rings. Oh, I'm sorry. Come back and see me tomorrow. I'll look out what I've got, and I'm just gonna have to go and answer that. But talk to me tomorrow, Alex, and I'll find some bits for you. No problem.
Oh, thanks, Doc. You're a lifesaver.
And he shuts the door, and he goes off to answer the phone. Yeah, and so you're standing there on the doorstep. So what's your next scene?
We've got to go back and get the red thing out of the quarry, haven't we?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I do wonder.
Maybe we should do that last so we're not suspected.
Well, I think it's the red thing is we have to get to it. So I wonder if the flying machine is like an easy way to get through to where it is.
It did
Maybe
look
because of
pretty
its
hard
like
to move
maybe because
around.
of its weird like circular motion thing it does. Or we can make an attempt to see if we can stay low like that other guy did, and see if we can sort of like skate our way over to it without going too high.
That could work.
We just
They
need to
seem
make
to have-
maybe we get us some roper or something so we don't so no one flies off.
Maybe Jamie could like chat to Grant and see what he knows.
Yeah, flirt with your new boyfriend.
Yes.
Ah, he's not my boyfriend.
I got a new victim now.
So you're having that conversation as you're walking along the street. What's the next scene? Jamie, are you going to go and see? Are you going to go and see Grant? Is that the plan? Is that the scene where you're knocking at his door? We know where he lives.
I guess so.
Have you got any preferable ideas? It doesn't have to be that. Anybody else?
I mean, at some point we need to go back to the quarry because we missed out on a fantastic and terrible joke, which I'll have to now remember for the next time we go to the quarry.
So yeah, you stand and you knock at the house of Grant, and his older brother answers, And he looks down at you. What do you want?
I take like a slow step backwards. Is Grant home?
And he turns round and he shouts, Grant, are you home? And you hear a voice, yeah. There's someone here for you. And he just leaves the door wide open and walks away. A short seconds after, Grant comes down the stairs and he sees you and he goes a little bit red. And he's like, oh, hi.
Hello. I start to blush a little too.
Called it.
I wasn't expecting to see you up at the quarry. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is really cool. You move pretty good in there.
Yeah. Thanks. We found it a while ago. We were digging about. We were trying to build a fire in the quarry, and we dug out a hole, and we found this thing. And when we banged it, we didn't really realize at first, and Kevin threw something at me, and it just went right over my head, and it didn't stop. And when we jumped up, it was great. Like you saw, it took us ages to figure it out, but it's so much fun, isn't it?
It is a lot of fun. Did you
better
see
not
all the parts lying around?
I don't know what that is. He looks a bit clueless and vacant at that point. It's like it just keeps appearing. It's like every time we jump on the ground or fall, another bit appears. But it was bad. Going up, we wanted to see how high it would go. I didn't think it was that a good idea, but Hugh and Trevor went up all like really high, and they just fell. They just plummeted. But when they hit the ground, it was like they disappeared.
Oh.
Just for a second, and then we didn't know where they'd gone, and so we went out to try and find them, and they were just there. They were lying there on the path. They looked like they were hurt.
That's scary.
But as long as we don't go too high, it's all right. Do you want to go now? Do you want to? Is that? You want to go?
Yeah,
and he
let's
looks
go.
at you. Yeah, cool. All right. We just better make sure that Kevin and Grant don't see. Come through the house. We'll go out the back way.
Okay.
And
Then I blush again as I enter the house.
Yeah, and you go through the house, and it's a nice house. It's it's got a TV, a little one, and it's fine. You go through the kitchen, out the back door, and out the back garden, and then out the path. And
A copy of Razzle on the coffee table as you go through.
And you walk down and out along the path. So that's happening. What's the rest of you? What are the rest of you? Did you go with Jamie too? Did you go along, or were you hiding, watching, egging her on to go up to the house and knock on the door, or?
We're all following her through the house, just being like, "What do we do now?"
Maybe
You
we
see
like
them. You see them.
awkwardly skulked a few houses down, like just leaning against a fence, watching as she like goes in.
Yeah, and then you see them through the garden at the back, walking down the path at the back, and the pavements converge at the end of the cul-de-sac, and so you see her just through the gardens and just walking. So you know where they are, Jamie. Do you try and sneak a look and get them to follow you, catch you up, or what do you do?
Yeah, I'll kind of look over my shoulder and like wave. And then I'll say to Grant, Is it okay if my other friends come too?
And he looks a little bit kind of crestfallen at that point. He just. But yeah, and of course, because he's infatuated with you, so he's like, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, all right, but let's go then.
I'm gonna say
Um,
thanks and throw my arms around him for like a really quick hug.
Called it.
yeah,
Yeah, just leading him on.
yeah, and he
He's such a flirt.
he totally loves it, and he kind of waits for the other recipe cup. So we'll cut that scene there, and then we'll cut you back up at the quarry. And it's quite early in the day, I guess, at this point.
I'll check the usual spot to see if anything's appeared in the meantime. Any more bits of wood?
Yeah, there's a couple of other bits. There's a couple other bits that have appeared. So the other guys must have been there for a while doing some stuff after.
Yeah, I'll check them in my backpack. The less we have to kind of make, the probably the better.
We'll get the book out and we can we see which bits they are from the.
Yeah, it's surprising. Yeah, I mean it's not identical 1-to-1, but it's surprising how close it actually is. There's a few pieces of thin dowel type wood. There's bits look like clasps and holes that you could attach some wire to. So yeah, it all looks fairly much like the picture that you've seen, with this kind of spiral shape in it. And yeah, and Grant's just like, what are you taking that for? That's just rubbish.
It seems to appear every time you guys are messing around in the field.
Yeah, what?
So I think it must be related somehow.
He goes in, he jumps in, he lands, like he kind of doesn't jump very high, he just kind of jumps, and then as soon as he touches the ground again, another bit, we just watching the pile, and this bit appears. And this thing looks like it's a long pole, about 6 foot long.
Nice. Not a 10-foot pole. Still do.
6 foot pole. Yeah.
Can you show me how to move in there?
Oh yes, he can.
And he steps back out and he takes a go, clear the way, and he starts running at you. And he just launches himself, like leans forward and just kind of pushes himself off like he's in a swimming pool, and his head just darts in and he dives in, and the momentum just carries him forward, and he's like, "What? That's the best way to get in." And then watch like this, and he just starts gyrating. His whole body just twists like a dog shaking off water. And he just doesn't stop, and as he begins to do that, he sort of moves up.
I'm going to try and mimic what he's doing. So I'll run and I'll back up and run to dive in.
Oh no.
Yeah, go for it. Get a move die, but give yourself an extra dice for that, because you've kind of been shown what to do, and I want to give yourself an extra bonus if there. Well, you can spend a point of luck if you want, or you can. I mean, you get in. It's not.
But I'm sure Grant will rescue you.
I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay, so you jump in, but you don't. You manage to get a little bit of distance, but you don't go that far. You didn't quite jump in, but you are off the ground. You're just not that far. You're only your head's about 3 foot off the ground, and your legs are kind of just above the ground. So you haven't really. And he's laughing at you. He's saying, it's just. Come on, I'll help you. And he begins to sort of corkscrew his way down to where you are, and he reaches out a very tentative hand and plants his feet on the ground. He says, "Are you ready?"
Yeah.
And with his feet on the ground, he moves you and he hauls you and he lets you go, and you just go. And he goes feeling up.
Whole new world.
Janie and Grant sitting in a tree. KISS.
You're now about 10 foot off the ground, and you're across on the other side of the quarry, looking at the rocks there.
I just start to try and spin myself in a circle.
Yeah, and at this
Should we
point,
go join him?
It does look like
Be a
fun,
little bit
doesn't it?
less Marty Pereira and a little bit more Marty McFly. Alright, I'm done. I'm going back to bed.
Please.
So, yeah, go on then. Let's see your move rolls. Let's see how successful
Jesus.
you are at this.
Do we still get a +1 for watching the awkward romantic thing going on? Or is that a -1?
Yeah,
now?
you know what? Yeah, you get plus. Oh, there you go. 2 successes from Caro. Oh, I think somebody actually didn't. Somebody
Do I
already
have to
get
make a? Do I have to
No,
make
you don't
this
have
roll?
to. No, you don't, because you've already mastered
Yeah.
it.
Of
Yeah.
course.
You used your bonus point to master that, didn't you? Yeah. So
Yeah.
you just add in the extra bit of the run and the jump. But it does, you don't necessarily fly so far, but you know how to
Yeah.
do the wiggly thing, and you
Yeah.
move around. So, Alex,
Yeah.
you don't get that far
I didn't
in.
even want height. I just wanted like to stay close to the ground. And I
Yeah,
still
you are
failed.
relatively
You
close to
did.
the ground, so so you're not very high. You haven't got that far, but you are close to the ground. So, yeah, and I guess you push your feet down or anything. Do you kick off?
I think if he's close to the ground, I think he'll try and use like his fingers to sort of pull himself along the ground. Because he wants to try and get
Okay,
to
yeah.
the red thing in the middle.
Yeah, you can do that.
He's not interested in the
You
sort of
can
like flopping around that everyone else is doing.
Yeah. So you're going to investigate, right? So you do that, no problem. The rest of them are all flat. You're all floating. Caro, you've got an extra point there. You can use that success to not have to make a check like that again, or you can use it for other purposes if you wish.
Can I use it to help Alex?
Why would you do that?
Wow.
So good.
Almost like Marty is like the body, like the spirit of like a 51-year-old man in the body of a 12-year-old.
You forgot the
Yeah,
spiteful
can you?
51-year-old man.
Oh, I'm doing that again. I
thought it just came with the territory.
You'll get
So-
there one day.
Yeah, you can give the success to another kid. Yep.
Sure.
Zip.
Okay.
Alright. Like maybe I reach down and like
Thank
pull
you
Alex
kindly.
up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back of his t-shirt. Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
grate your face along the ground, even at zero gravity.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you get yourself over to this dome in the on the ground, and you're looking at it. What are you using to? What are you using to do something to investigate or look at this thing?
Well, I think I was just trying to like get his like a hand on it, see if there's like any buttons or anything on it. It's just like an interface.
All right. Okay.
I don't want to. I'm not going to push anything because
You're
I don't want to
thinking-
actually
you're-
hit like
you're-
I don't want to hit an off switch while everyone's just suspended up in
That
the
would
air
be
above
brilliant,
concrete.
Hit it! Go on. That's what happened. They hit it last time. Hit it now.
Marty
But if I
shouts
but
as
if I
he's
can, I
floating.
might. If I can reach it with my hands, I would be tempted to see if I could pick it up. What like if I lift it a little bit, what or if I can lift it, what happens?
Yeah. So you grab it, and you realize instantly that it's in the ground. It's the top of something bigger. You can't pull it. It's in
Ooh.
the ground.
Yeah. Iceberg. I mean, not an actual iceberg, but
Metal.
Well,
Yeah,
how
it's in
icebergs
Scotland.
work.
that kind of principle.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And the others are. Are you just larking around? The rest of you?
I'm just gonna be investigating it.
Yeah. So you pull away at the grass, and you see that just a few inches underneath the grass, it expands out as a dome. As you're you're pulling away, and it gets deep, and it comes to a point where it's like you can't just rip it away with your hands. You're having to actually dig and it's getting a bit ridiculous. So, but you think that you think this is a pretty decent sized whatever. It's pretty solid, and you're not going to be able to shift it with your hands.
Yeah, it's like, guys, it's huge. I guess we're gonna need a lot of help getting this back to the fire station.
Like a crane.
Yeah, does anyone know how to drive a truck?
Maybe not in earshot of Grant.
You're like,
Yeah, he's having a good time just shouting and screaming away with Jamie. So, yeah, But yeah, you say that, and he hears his name mentioned, and he turns around and says, "What?" "What you doing?" he says as he looks. And he kind of corkscrews his way down towards you.
Great, Jamie.
What are you doing?
I'm just checking this out. Saw something weird in the ground, so I'm just having a look.
It's really cool.
He looks
looking.
at it. And he looks around and he says, "Wait a minute." And he corkscrews his way to the edge, and grabs a stone, and he
Guys,
kind
we've
of
got too
comes
many
back
witnesses.
over, and he says, can you get down? Watch what happens."
He's gonna go caveman on this, isn't he?
He gives
gonna
you know he
move
just
to the
gives you he gives you the stone as everybody gets down. I guess do you get down?
Well, yeah, I'm sort of hanging on. I've already pulled myself into the ground to try and dig this out.
Yeah, exactly. You're holding onto the ground. And he hands you the stone, and he says, "Hit it."
Alright. I'll just hit it a little bit. I don't want to damage it. It seems reckless.
Yeah, and you just hear the noise. Dong, as it kind of reverberates. The ground shakes a little bit. And you all just dump to the ground.
Ooh.
Oh.
I think someone buried a
It's like-
didgeridoo in the bottom of this quarry.
So
Hit
hit
it
it again.
No! We need to find out what it is before we fuck with it and break it. Who knows what'll happen?
Just hit it.
Just, tap it again.
Hit it again. And the same thing. When the kind of earth shakes. And then, you feel like you might want to try. And then, watch. And he just lifts his feet up. He just stands there. He doesn't do anything. He just stands there. He just lifts his knees up to his. And then he kind of backwards. He just goes backwards and slides backwards. See? It works.
Cool. You guys have like control over it.
I'm going
We
to
came
jump
in
on the
here, but
I
ground
want
one
to know
more
more.
time to try and knock
Oh.
out pieces.
So yeah, you're gonna try and dig away some of the.
Gotta be a
You're gonna
hat
take
or
away some
something
of
on
the-
it. Gotta be a thing that was put together and supposed to be used. Gotta be a way to open it and see if there's like controls or something, rather than just bashing it with a rock.
Oh, it works. And he, don't do it just now. Watch this. And he pushes off the ground, and then he pings off the edge, of the wall, the quarry wall, and he comes flying back. And
Dude,
he lands.
Jamie's not even looking.
He lands again just towards the end, and you see another bright flash. And he moves his head out the way quickly. As he does that, he says, "Shit!" You hear him shout.
A bright flash?
What's going on?
What happened?
Just about had my eye taken out by something.
Did anyone
The
else
piece
see
of
it?
a flying machine, maybe.
Pinged out somewhere?
Look at this, and he pulls this thing, and it's like a twine rope, but it looks like it's made from really rough fiber. It's not like a modern. This thing is so. Just I was like, look at this stuff, and he just keeps pulling it, and you just see him as he's pulling it. He's just pulling and pulling it, and it's just coming out of the pile, and it's just the bits of stick are just pinging out of the way, and he's just pulling this. It's like, what the hell is this? It's just about to
rope.
get out, and he's.
Yeah, I'm gonna flick through the book. Does it look like the?
It's probably a rope they'd use to tie all the pieces together, I guess.
Yeah, to tie at least the tarpaulin onto the thing, right?
Yeah. It looks like it would have that kind of purpose.
But you say it's like old timey stuff.
Yeah, apart from the tarpaulin.
Oh yeah, it's like practically horse hair. Well, the tarpaulin's made of canvas. It's thick canvas.
Yeah, just like a fabric cloth rather than the plastic.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't look like modern rope or anything.
Big fibers, big fat.
Maybe it's also a time
fibers,
machine.
Rough.
Like plant or animal?
Looping it back to the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, I'm like wide-eyed at Alex as he says that.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be quite funny if it's actually just a time machine, like Martin imagined it, just sort of like stuck vertically into the ground, just like the little front bit sticking out. Wouldn't that be wild?
Wouldn't that be? My goodness. So, yeah, he just pulls this stuff and hands it over. This could be fun. And he tries to kind of chuck some over in your direction, but it doesn't go very far. He hasn't got the strength to throw it far, so he hauls it up. But there's a lot of stuff. Are you still digging away at this thing?
Yeah, I am. It's got to have like a panel or a hatch or something on it, given how big it is.
And after you're hauling back these clumps of turf, and you're kind of pulling it back and looking at it, and then at one point you see that there's a like a crevasse that has a hole down the side. It's just this big round the edge of it, a dark space that you've got to, and it just looks like it drops down into the ground, and you can't see anything. The light doesn't penetrate down into that depth of the ground, but there's a hole, and you're looking down. You've got to the edge of it.
Well, guys, we found a hole.
Should we maybe use the rope?
How deep is it? Can you see?
You could
No idea. I mean, I suppose we could turn off the gravity field for the time being, and then just see how far the rope goes.
Yeah,
you can actually, as you're saying that,
the
gravity field itself seems to extend. You can
below.
sort of tell when you were pulling it. The clumps. You haven't moved all this. You haven't just lobbed this dirt in a pile. As you've been moving it, it's just standing there in the air where you've left it. It's just kind of hanging next to you. And all these bits, you can shove them out the way with a bit of momentum, but generally speaking, they're just floating about. So you've lifted all this dirt up, and you can grab a bit, and there's nothing. It doesn't drop down. It extends.
At least now it looks a bit more cinematic.
Yeah.
Someone's built an explosion.
Does that mean can Marty float down into the hole?
Take the rope. I don't want to get someone stuck down there either way, with gravity or without gravity.
Yeah.
Do we have any torchlights? Pretty
I have
dark
my
down
lightsaber.
there.
I mean, that'll do, right? If it's one of them from the 80s, you could take the blade bit off, and it was basically a torch at that point.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Hadn't been so negative at the start of the adventure.
Your lightsaber. So do you hand over the lightsaber, or you get a +1 to your roll for using the?
I don't know. He was feeling a bit sassy at the beginning. I don't know if we're friends anymore.
Yeah, I think we should. Everybody can go back and check the VOD and see who started it, can't they?
I mean, they can.
I don't have to because I know who started it.
So who's going down? Who's going down?
All right, we'll send Marty down with the torchy bit of the lightsaber. But he owes me a formal written apology.
Okay. So you, with the light of the Jedi guiding your way,
Damn right.
Ironic for a Trekkie.
you have about a meter of just wiggling and hauling yourself down, and immediately the side opens up into a big arch, and then inside, yeah, as you peer down through it with the limited light that you have, it looks like it extends pretty far out. This space that's in there. There's 3 other arches that you can see with the light, and you just see the dirt just jammed up and kind of pouring into it a little bit.
So the edge of it is all kind of metal, is it, as well?
Yeah, everything that you see is metal, all of it.
So I just shout up. It's a really big space down here. Can't see much. Am I still floating at this point?
Yep.
Um,
Pretty scary though in the dark with just the light.
just the light saber.
Yeah.
Just a little lightsaber head. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you, the darkness, and the light, and whatever is just put that hand on their shoulder.
It's Caro.
But otherwise, no one.
Anybody else gone down?
No, I'm holding onto the rope from my end.
Okay.
I think Martin's gonna carry on. Sorry.
Should we bring Martin back up and maybe come back with some
Yeah.
proper torches at some point?
Shout down to
That
him,
might
like,
be a good idea.
Yeah. Give it some sharp tugs if you want to come back up, Marty. One big tug and a scream if you find something bad down there.
Hold on, just a minute. I just got to tie it around my neck. Hold on.
Why you never made it as a Boy Scout?
I'm gonna move down towards the what I don't know which is back or front of this thing. But you say I can see like it. There's kind of dirt come in. Is that because part of it has caved in, like it crashed there or something, or
Possibly, yeah. It's buried, so yeah, it's in the ground.
so I kind of swing away from that end towards the far end to see what condition that's in at the other end.
Yeah, it looks like there's 3 open arches, and at the end of one of the arches, you see some LED casings sticking out and some buttons underneath.
Oh, buttons.
Not chocolate buttons.
No. I'm gonna head over to the buttons if I can see them.
Mm.
Do they have any markings on them, like any writing, or I'm assuming they're not lit if they're LED.
You get up. Once you get up close to them, you see that one of them's got residual, very small glimmer, an orange glimmer, just ever so slight.
There's some buttons here. There's a light on one of them. But there's no writing or markings or lettering or anything.
What happens if you push it? I'm gonna brace my feet. Just in case.
Kara makes sure she's not standing near the pile.
I might need Karo's help because I have no body stat.
And you hear the noise. The whole thing reverberates. And two things happen. Anybody who was in the air suddenly crashes down to the ground. So I don't know if anybody was high up. You weren't, Mark. You just land face down on the cold metal floor. You were just a couple of feet above the ground. Grant smashes against something and probably hurts himself. I don't know if any of
leg.
Yeah, probably, or scratches his face. So he's not such a good shape, and he swears and says, "What'd you do that for?" But the rest of you, I think you were pretty close to the edge, so you just kind of clumped to the ground. But the other thing that happens is the shape of what looks like some crazy light thing begins to form in the center of this, and you see a picture of a hologram of some light just curling round, and then as you watch it,
machine.
and this thing just appears in front of you like a flying machine, and you just look at it.
Oh wow! There's like a. I mean, I know what a hologram is. It's the 80s. There's like a. It's like a hologram thing. It's the flying machine. And I walk around looking up at this thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's light as well, so you can see.
Touch it
around.
Okay, pass my hand through it.
Yeah, just pass your hand through it. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex told me to do it, and apparently I kind of look up to Alex.
That's all it takes.
I look up to him at the moment because he's
in many ways spiritually. As a leadership position, as an overseer, as a caretaker.
I'm gonna try pressing the button again.
All right, go for it.
When the gravity comes, it changes again, and you feel that you can tell now in your shoulders that it's taken again.
Has any more bits of the machine appeared?
Shout that up.
Is anyone able to have a look?
Yeah, I kind of wander off a little bit, and
Yeah, you just get enough. There's a huge pile of stuff has appeared on the outside.
God.
Just this massive, great big, like cogs and rope and canvas and bits of wood and
all the bits we need to make.
Maybe the machine is building it for some reason.
Making them.
Like a
maybe.
Like a fabricator of some sort.
I guess I'd kind of move them into a pile, or like have a look at them and kind of move them somewhere where we could take them with us later.
Yeah, you want to try a different button, Marty?
There's a lot of stuff. There's just a massive amount of wood and tons of stuff probably.
Does it look like there's any duplicates of stuff we already have?
There's so much there that you just couldn't even imagine what. This is a fairly considerable amount of material that's just appeared.
Okay. I guess I grab more rope and head back over to where Alex is.
Is there more, Benny? Maybe Marty should have a look at this other buttons. Maybe you can change what it's making. If it is making something. Because it seems to be like there's a hologram and then it's pumping out pieces of whatever.
I mean, who knows? I go.
Maybe you could see if you could set it to build a time machine. We're gonna get a time machine, one way or another.
Excuse me. There are other buttons to press.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
Let's press one.
Like your favorite sci-fi TV show.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, the image flickers in the center, and this time, it's like arms shoot out, and then in between them there are fins coming backwards, and there are struts of wood, almost like a dragon shape, but made of wood and canvas.
Ooh.
Building flying machine. Like a
And
very
if I
specific
press-
construction list for something buried in the ground.
Are they all from the? Do I recognize them all from the book?
Yeah. These are all things that you've seen in the book.
It just seems to be building like machines that are in that book. You know, like the Da Vinci stuff.
So weird.
Why would anybody want to build?
Someone with a very specific hobby, maybe.
Press another button. And see
This
if
one-
any of the other.
This one flickers, and you see a model, and this is strange because you recognize this. This is a biplane,
Oh.
but the biplane, the size of it, is as big as the wing. The span of the wings is as wide as the opening that you came through. So it's not a full size one, you're sure of that. But it looks small, and that's when they come to think of it, the second one that you saw looked like it was the width of that arch that you came in through. And strangely, the first one was as tall as the arch that you came through now that you're seeing it.
It's like a. So this whole thing is like a hangar of some kind. Is it like a?
Yeah. Why don't you see if it can build a TIE fighter?
I don't think Da Vinci had one of them in his.
I don't think he had biplanes either, but you never know.
No, he didn't have biplanes. That was later in your book.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wright
was the Wright
brothers.
brothers. So you're down here and you're doing that, and but as you're watching this light show, all the other parts dim, and one part is lit, and it just remains bright.
Okay. Another button.
You press the other button and it just fizzles at this point, and the light goes off. Are the rest of you down, or have you stayed up, or what are you doing?
I'm still where I was before.
I think we've stayed up because we're probably going to have to pull Marty out of this hole, aren't we? We'll guide him up out of this.
Timmy doesn't accidentally delete the world or something.
Nah, that's true.
That's something Marty would do.
You assume it was accidental.
Yeah. As you look over to the entranceway, you can't. There's just a whole pile of wood now. There's a whole pile of wood and canvas, and it's just building up the side. It's blocked the entrance to the quarry.
Oh no!
Yeah. This is just kind of making model kits. That's what it's doing.
Definitely looking like it.
So what
I
should
don't know
we
what
do
else to
now?
suggest.
We
This
have
is
all
just a
these
really
parts.
random
Oh.
machine.
I think I just switched
Right.
it up.
You pressed another. You press another button, and then one of the earlier things, this other part, it flashes in, and then it just glows. This big circle, this piece, and then it shrinks down to one piece, and it just pulses, this one circular piece, like the very first bit that you found, this piece of wood. It just sits and hovers in the ground. It flashes.
Sounds like the loop.
No, it was part of the first flying machine, is it?
Yeah, that's what happened when you press the button. Yep.
Right. So is it cycling through every time they were hitting it or something?
But no more pieces are being created. It's just that pile that you've got,
like
which is now collapsed, and half of it's floating, and it's just toppled over into the field, and so some of it's just floating around.
Maybe it's run out of stuff to make things with.
Yeah, you find out you come back up and the forest is missing.
Yeah. The nearby town is no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think. I like it. The trees, some of the trees that were around have been. Nah, not really. I don't think so. I think they wouldn't disappear, but you would see like carved bits out of them, perhaps. Why not? Yeah, I know. This kind of
sections have been cut away, cut out of them.
Yeah, I think that's Yeah, it's like a fabricator. It's taken, but when it's done it's made it look old and distressed.
Yeah.
And the bits are so yeah. There's as you're looking around, you see some other buttons. There's another panel towards another one this other side, and these buttons have you look at them and you see that each of them have got small diagrams. They look almost like arrows.
Start from left to right.
And as you press one of the buttons, up top, you see suddenly each of the individual pieces that are relevant to that first machine, they just begin to draw in towards you. They're actually floating through and in towards you, and you see these individual pieces of wood just and canvas just sort of being manipulated into the center.
And that's it. They just kind of just sit there in the middle, then in the air.
No, they try and get down the hole.
Oh.
Duck.
And what's going on?
And some of the bits of wood just jam their way past you, and it's a bit. As you've pressed that button. I think up top you need to make a move roll, otherwise some of you are in danger of being clobbered by these moving pieces.
It's sucking on the wood, Marty. We need to get out of here.
Oh.
Jamie, Caro.
That's a good.
Alex.
I mean, it was never going to
Failed.
happen.
Yeah, so you take a point.
You can spend luck.
I think. Oh, you can spend luck. You got one left, I think, haven't you?
I've already got. Yeah, I've got two. So I'll spend one to. What will that do? Was that negated, or do I have to reroll?
You can make an automatic success or a reroll. Is that right?
I'll do an automatic success.
That's fine. So you dodge out the way, and the bits that can get down there are able. And Marty, you see these bits float down the way you came down past your rope, and they guide themselves into, and then you see one piece, the circle, the bit of wood circle, it slots, and then the light changes, and then the next bit floats, and it lands in that bit of light. And then the third bit comes down, and it forms a circle. And then the next light bit comes up, and the bit of rope. And this continues.
It's assembling itself.
it continues for a few minutes, and it stops at one of the pieces of. It stops at one of the pieces.
Ooh.
Who was carrying some of the bits?
I think
I mean,
I
I've
just
got the
had some
rope.
of the rope.
I hope it doesn't
Yeah.
take the rope first.
Yeah.
So the
This
rope
could be
begins to haul you down, Alex.
Cool.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to hold it because I don't have the muscle strength to fight against whatever this is.
Yeah, it's not strong. It's not it's not like
Yeah,
ripping out your hands, but it's
Yeah.
it's hauling you down. So you can either go
Marty,
down.
you need to
with it
get
or
out of
you
there.
can-
But it's building something.
Yeah, no, but it's pulling the rope. It's using
Well,
the
you got
rope that's
zero.
holding you. That lets you get out of the hole.
You can use the gravity to get out the hole, I guess.
Yeah.
Assuming the
fine.
gravity, if the gravity doesn't turn back on or off,
Yeah. So,
he'd just be like, Marty's in a hole.
Yeah, so Marty, you're looking at this thing, and the rope comes down. Who else has got bits on them? Is it in your bag, Carol?
Oh,
think
I
just
did put
grabbed
some
the
earlier in my
rope.
backpack.
Yes.
I
Ooh.
was carrying the wrapped canvas.
Yeah, so that everything that you've got begins to move down this space, and if you're holding onto it, or if it's in your bag begins to move, but it doesn't rip out of it like an alien from a chest. It's just like it just
You're
begins
all
to
coming
move. You
with
have
me.
So like, yeah, you have to kind of help. You have to help it at this point, and so the canvas moves out your hands, and it begins to this like fall through the air, and then it becomes a sail down in this chamber. And the bits in your bag begin to rattle around in your bag, and your bag begins to sort of just slowly snake through the gravity. But yeah,
Do I hear them? I mean, are you guys kind of shouting or anything? Do I hear any any cause for alarm from up there?
Well, it's trying to put all the pieces in.
Yeah.
I guess we're calling out to you and telling you to come
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell you, to get up because the rope's going, and if you can't get out, then you can't get out.
I want to see it make something. I wonder if I can.
If he keeps this up, I'm just going to let go of the rope.
yeah.
You
I'm
made your
surprised it
hole,
so
and now
long,
lie in it.
To be fair.
So yeah, Marty, there's the whole thing. The light continues and continues round, and each time a bit comes in, and the light moves on and moves on. And then there's one bit that isn't there. There's a bit of rope, and there's another bit. It's a small thing, and it just looks like it hasn't finished. It looks like it's not done.
Okay.
Every other bit is there except for like what looks like two lights, and it cycles, but the lights just glow between these bits. One bit of rope and one bit of some small type of thing somewhere.
Looks like there's just a couple of pieces left.
Are we gonna get our own flying machine?
If we
I
can get
don't
out of
know.
the hole.
Looks pretty cool. Can fly out. I'm gonna head back to where towards the hole.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be doing anything else. It's just kind of stuck there, cycling between these two pieces, right?
Yeah.
Am I able to float up out of the?
You're totally. You can just pull yourself up on the side of the
Yeah.
side of the machine without any trouble at all, or the side of the clutch. There's no
Okay.
trouble getting up.
Yeah. And I kind of do that, and I kind of stick my head out into the sunlight, and I look at them, and I just say, "This is amazing." It's like building all of these machines, or it can build all of these machines. That first machine that we've got the parts for, it's nearly finished, the whole thing down there.
How are we gonna get it out?
I think the hole's big enough.
Hmm.
It seems designed to allow these things to. Would I have said that? It seems like it's made to allow these things to come out.
The only problem with that is that the space that you've actually climbed up through is very narrow.
Yeah.
And although the actual,
Stupid
So-
machine.
Yeah, whether or not it wasn't buried before, maybe it was in the open air or something somehow.
Maybe the top opens?
Maybe that's what the anti-gravity is for.
Maybe.
I mean, there's no rope anymore. So you're gonna
Yeah,
have to
the rope's
fly it
down.
out or float out.
And then there's one bit, Carol, in your bag that's hauling at you. Your bag's kind of floating. I don't know if you've got it on a backpack or if it's on the ground or whatever, but yeah, there's one last bit, and it's
Yeah, I probably would like open my bag so that it can float
Drift out.
out and
yeah, and that last bit, do you follow it down? Anybody go down as it floats down to the side, down the dirt into that?
I don't want to be trapped in a
Um,
dark hole with Marty for their eternity.
So
Car-
Marty. Sorry, Carol.
Karo's seen what Marty looks like having come out of the hole, like, as he hit the ground, and just how, like, dirty and dusty he's probably got from it, and she's like, nope. I'm wearing light colors today.
Alex, you coming?
I'm good. I'm not that curious.
I'll go.
Jamie? It's either that or I'm going to have to ask Grant. We don't want that.
Grant's like, what?
No?
With that Grant.
And he looks over. He's just been sitting there nursing his wounds.
Oh, I should go over and check on him.
Hey, kiss it better.
No, he's fine. Go. I'm all right. Don't worry.
Okay.
He said, like his arms hanging off. Certainly a flesh wound.
So you disappear. The two of you go in, and you watch as the last piece forms on the last light. And there in front of you is a perfect rendition of the flying machine that was designed and visible within your book way back in hundreds of years ago. And it's just there with levers on it and bits of wire or rope holding various other bits of flaps of wood, and it's amazing. It looks astounding.
This is so cool.
Maybe
I'm gonna
it works.
Well, I hope your book
I'm gonna
mentions
look
how to
for,
fly
like,
it.
a button to, like, open the case, like the dome.
Yeah, you press all the buttons and nothing happens. It just sits there and it hovers. And at one point you press the same button that was the one that made this that was pressed, and a light just flashes and it just sits there. So the thing sits there. The actual device itself is floating, hovered in the air, and as you examine it, you see that there's a certain number of levers and pulleys that you can move to try and gyrate and move the sail. And yeah, as you play with it, you realize that it moves up and it moves down, and you can move it left and right, but you can only do so within the space underground. Because the problem is, of course, that you've created a flying machine underground. And I think that at that point it's a good place to leave it, as you're trying to figure out, just what exactly you're going to do with this contraption that's built. But it flies around in the space that you've got. It's obviously a far more accurate way of moving around,
Yeah.
and it actually works.
Yeah. Let's make
and
a
you can
bigger
control it
hole.
and have some fun with it, but you can't. This metal dome that you're in is just too big and too strong for you to break through it.
It's time to
so yeah,
excavate.
Yeah,
you
we
need
have
to
to
get
make a
JCB
bigger hole
up.
that you go down there.
But yeah, so that's the end of the mystery. You've solved it. You've figured out what happened to the gang
boys,
and found your way into some strange
All right.
shenanigans.
You're like, see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wax the metal down with a rock.